Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexi Out's here, and it's Friday, and the Raptors have won a huge game last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Second time we've beaten them this year, both times in Cleveland, and we have now won the season series against the team in the NBA in the Eastern Conference that had the best record last year. I mean, how many games in the season is this? It's like 12, 13 games in a season, and we have already won the season series against the Cavs, y'all. That's part of the reason why they wanted to beat us so bad last night by resting people and trying to do stuff. But they didn't realize they were running into a buzzsaw. And, Cleveland, if we're in a tie with y'all at the end of the year, we win the tiebreaker. That's just how it is. We're going to play them one more time before the end of the season, at least. I think we may get an extra game with them somehow, some convoluted way, if we face them because of the in-season tournament again. But it's not likely because we beat them in our group already, and there's no reason for us to have to play them in the in-season tournament again. So we'll play them one more time in Toronto, and that's it for the rest of the year. And that actual game is actually coming up like very soon. So it's like all the Cleveland games going to be out of the way, and we won't have to see them again for the rest of the year unless we play them in the playoffs. So, yeah, Kenny Atkinson, after the game, first of all, Kenny Atkinson, pregame interview. Playing the Raptors is 48 minutes of hell. That's what he said. He said that straight up. He said their play style is really annoying, and it's just tough to play against. And kudos to Coach Darko. He's doing a great job up there. He's got all of his stars and all of his players to buy into his system and what he wants them to do. He said that's not easy to do. He said it's hard to get players to play with that kind of effort to that level to where it will work like that. And that he is really impressed with Coach Rajakovic and how he's getting the Raptors to play right now. This is a serious problem for the league. I'm telling you right now, because look, these guys really want it, and they're all for one for all, win for all, and they're winning. It doesn't matter if one or two of the Raptors don't shoot well that night, as long as we're winning. And there's going to be different nights where, Brandon's not going to be as good. And part of the reason why was Kenny Atkinson focused on him with his defensive plan. He has a defensive player of the year in Evan Mobley. He has one of the best shot blockers in the league in Jared Allen. And the plan last night was to stop Brandon. They came at Brandon and they stymied him, but they didn't totally stop Brandon. Of course, late in the game, he hit some really big clutch shots late to keep us ahead in the fourth quarter. But they did focus on him immediately at the beginning of the game, and they noticed that and adjusted immediately. Brandon Ingram called it out. This is what they said, that, Brandon called it out. This is what Scottie said. He said Brandon recognized that they were covering him really tough and that he started directing the other guys around to how they could advantage this for the Raptors. And that's part of the reason why Scottie went off last night. Because, they recognized this, they've adjusted, and they said, well, they're going to try and take BI away from us tonight. Well, where do we go next? Well, it's great we have options. It's great we have options. Yeah, Kenny Atkinson said that our bigs beat his bigs last night. Some people were worried with the injury report, with Sandro possibly out, who he did play, Colin Murray-Boyles out, Ochai Agbaji out, that we may be in trouble because of size. No. Jakob and Scottie outplayed Allen and Mobley last night, badly. They kicked their asses. As Kenny Atkinson said, these guys kept getting in front of us, ahead of us, between us, and to the basket before us. That everything was a step slow. And his guys, they had a back-to-back. Yeah, they had to travel. Yeah, they rested Donovan and Evan Mobley the night before, and they should have been fresh in the game last night, Cavaliers fans. But they were a step slow, and the Raptors wanted it more, and they were there ahead of them, and they were just beating their ass in every little battle they could on the court last night. Whether it was getting in between them and the ball. That's the thing. Kenny Atkins said, they're running down the court, and they're ahead of our guys, and they're just making layups. He said shit like they just got in between us in the basket. We couldn't do anything about it. They were just there. I saw a lot of two-handed rebounds by Scottie last night. I saw grab that ball, pull it down, take it for us. end the defensive possession and get going the other way. I saw Jakob in there back to looking like he looked last year, looking like he's got his rhythm back, looking like he's got his chops, looking like he's got his presence, looking like he's got to go get all the rebounds if Scott doesn't get that rebound. Man, we beat two of the best big men combos in the league last night with Yak and Scottie. And Kenny Atkinson also has nightmares of Jamal Shed too, apparently. Yeah. He said they even gamed a special plan for Jamal last night because they knew he was going to come in, and as Kenny Atkinson described him as a ball of energy. What do you do with that ball of energy named Jamal Shed? Well, he tried to play off of him. He tried to lay off of him, and then Jamal just shot and made the shots, or he just dissected it. Jamal Shed's game plan didn't work for what they were trying to do to him to try and stymie his effect as the bench backup point guard to bolster the bench for the Raptors. In fact, our bench was very key last night also. They came out and outplayed the Cleveland bench, ran circles around them. But Kenny Atkinson said it wasn't just the bench, though. Our starters were horrible, and they got their ass kicked by the Raptors starters. He made a lot of excuses last night. I mean, he just straight up said they were just better. They kicked our ass. We just didn't have it. Kudos to them. Let's not take anything away from the Raptors. They're an amazing team. They're very good. This is all shit that the coach said from the Cavs side last night. Scottie Barnes, amazing player. Really, really, really great stuff. He even said Evan Mobley just didn't play right last night. You know, it was crazy, man. You know, Cavs fans aren't happy with him. It's crazy. They're calling for his head right now. It's crazy. I can't believe this. I mean, I get it. Y'all had a year last year that was amazing. Y'all didn't get far in the playoffs. He's a little on the suspicious side, but don't Thibodeau this guy. I'm telling you right now, Kenny Atkinson's a great coach, and he's just this is friendly advice for Cavs Nation. I don't even care if you do this or not. In some ways, you don't have to listen to me, but don't fire your coach. That's a good coach, and you would make a mistake to fire him. And I'm being honest. I'm not trying to lie or be stupid with you guys right now. I'm serious. Y'all listen to me. Y'all may have the impulse to want to fire Kenny Atkinson, but that would be a big mistake. And I'm not saying this to be like trick you guys. I'm saying this because it's true. Don't make the same mistake that the Knicks made when they fired Tom Thibodeau just because he's slumping or having a couple problems right now. You guys don't see the forest for the trees in some ways. You don't see the whole big picture. And in some ways, fans can be a little overreactive. So I caution you, Cavs Nation, you do not want to fire your coach. He's a very good coach. And right now, you guys are just going through a rough spot. You can overreact in the present moment if you want and try and get him fired by calling for that, but you would be idiots for that. Seriously. Just trust me on this. So, yeah, let's react to the game. Guys, I got the phone, so we can do the phone line today if you want to call in. But let me do the ref report and talk about the G League game we're playing today. That's right. The Raptors in the month of November are 7-1 as both teams. I think that's right. Maybe they're 8-1 now. We've only lost one game between both teams so far this month, and that was that Philadelphia second night of back-to-back against Maxey and Embiid and Nick Nurse. Every single game we played this month, we've won otherwise for 905 and the Raptors. And we have now won 6 out of our last 7 and won the season series against the top team in the East last year record-wise. Yeah, we're coming. This is where we say you're on notice, East. Because we got some weight we can throw around now and talk shit. That's right. We want to see you Knickerbockers. Yeah, we want to see y'all and test it against y'all next. But yeah, we got the Cavs now. Cavs are done with us. In fact, that was one of the two teams I was the most worried about this year was Cleveland and New York. And well, I'm not worried about Cleveland no more. No, I'm not. If we had to face them in the playoffs, I think we could play them very well. I think we could play them very, very well if both teams are healthy and up the stride. All right, let me go look at the G League real quick. Guys, we're playing the Westchester Knicks tonight. They are in New York. The 905 are in New York. So it's the first road game for the 905 tonight. And referee is going to be Gina Catanzariti again. Number 5 is going to be the crew chief. She's her first season as a non-staff official for the NBA. It's number 75 out of Willingboro, New Jersey. Her favorite TV show is The Sopranos. She likes the movie Forrest Gump. She listens to Beyonce. Her favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird. Her favorite meal is homemade pasta, meatballs, and sauce. She likes the IG. She'd like to visit Southeast Asia. She'd like to take a yacht around Italy, and her hidden talent is half-court shots. I want to see her hit a half-court shot. Catanzariti has 3 years of officiating experience in the NBA G League, where she worked the 2025 playoffs. She refereed NBA Summer League games in Vegas in 2024 and 2025, working the semifinals both years. Yeah, so Catanzariti is the crew chief. The second ref is going to be JP Prim again. This is the second game in a row that he's reffing for the 905. He reffed the last game against the Maine Celtics, number 64. And Joe Prince is the umpire, number 78. That's your ref check for our G League game against Westchester Knicks tonight. Let's go Raptors 905 and get 4-0 and kick their ass. Yeah, let's go look at the Westchester Knicks real quick. Who are they this year? You know, they had a pretty good team last year. We saw them beat the Raptors 905 around Christmas last year in a Raptor Freak family hangout. So let's see who's there. They got Adama Ball, Ibrahim Diallo, Vincius Da, Tosan Ivo Trey Jemison. Now, he's the most notable name I'm seeing here so far, the big center from Alabama, Birmingham. He's got some NBA experience. Trey Jemison's a load. And, well, we're going to see some Juju Reese versus Trey Jemison. Oh, that might be a battle of the big boys right there. I'm telling you. Nick Jordan, Kevin McCullar, Obadiah Noel, former Raptors 905 player, is on the Knicks G League team right now. Obadiah Noel, good to see him again tonight. Toby Okani, Dink Pate. He's another name I recognize, Dink Pate. Isaiah Roby is on this team also. I think he may be the veteran. Bryson Warren. And finally, one of the stars of the Scarborough Shooting Stars CBL team, a guy I really like a lot, who I saw play a couple times live this summer, going to Scarborough Shooting Stars games, Donovan Williams out of UNLV. He may be one of their better players, honestly. He may be the guy we really need to look out for because he's a mix of shooting outside with threes and attacking the rim. And at 6'6", even though he's looking like he's a swing, he's actually plays like a power forward. So Donovan Williams, Dink Pate, Isaiah Roby, Obadiah Noel, Trey Jemison. We're just going to have to see how this team is. But I feel good about our Raptors 905 once again in this matchup. As far as I don't see overwhelmingly badass depth on here. And where's Boo Booey? Huh? Where's some of the other guys? It seems like these G League teams are just not, their cupboard's bare on these teams with talent. A lot of no names coming through with the Maine Celtics, the College Park Skyhawks, and the Westchester Knicks. We're just going to have to see how this looks tonight. So, yeah, there's your setup for tonight's game. I feel real good about Andrew Jones and his team with Chucky Hepburn, Elijah Martin, and A.J. Lawson leading that team. So, yeah, we got to check out that game tonight if you're going to be around. I'll be in the YouTube comments watching that game on YouTube. It's shown on YouTube in Canada. So if you want to watch the game with me, I'll be in there talking. If you want to watch the Westchester Knicks Raptors 905 game tonight. Yeah, it's going to be good stuff. Yeah. So let's see what Trevor's saying this morning. Good morning to Commissioner Fun, Trevor Jones. We appreciate you, sir. I hope that the weather's very nice down in Florida. And, well, today the rain has been melting away, the snow. So outside is not looking as crazy covered with the snow anymore. We see that there's some green grass out there. I mean, my trees and stuff like that. So it's looking nicer. A little bit warmer. That's right. So Trevor J's words of wisdom. Please be kind. Don't be the reason someone skips a meal, hates waking up, or feels left out. Your words and actions stick with people forever. This is awesome. I love this word of wisdom. You know, one of the things that's the most cruel thing to do is when somebody is really enthusiastic or enjoys doing something, even if it seems frivolous and facetious to you, even if it seems like a waste of time, even if it seems like something that you're like, that's not what I would do. Don't rain on their parade. You don't even understand. Maybe what they're doing is something that means so much to them, and they don't need you to come with your negativity and shoot them down. In fact, you may be stopping them from doing something very glorious that they need to continue to do because they're going to get to something down the road that's amazing. So be a builder. Don't be a destroyer. You can build with your words. You can be encouraging and loving and supportive. You don't have to be disruptive, critical, and mean. Really, is what it is. It's like, look, there's a lot of people out there that have things that they do that not everybody's going to understand, and it's not up to you to come and rain on their parade and talk shit to them. In some ways, anybody who comes and steals joy from someone who creates something or does things that they enjoy and they don't really need your opinion or business, you're fucked up if you're doing that kind of stuff, going around raining on people's parade. So I would say, if you have nothing nice to say, don't fucking say anything at all. And, there's a lot of levels to this with the NBA and players and talking about them and how they play and all this kind of stuff. We talk about it every day. They're tough. They're used to being public scrutiny. They make the big money to be in that position. But everyday people, maybe an artist, maybe somebody who does, weird sculptures, maybe somebody who just has a weird thing that they like to do because they derive enjoyment from it. Don't judge them. And if you have something negative to say, keep it to your damn self. How about that? How about that? So Trevor J, I appreciate your words of wisdom. That's right. Please be kind. And it's not just about rewind. It's about, if you pause, think about what you have to say. Is it helpful? Is it nice? Is it even necessary? Because if it isn't any of that, just shut the fuck up and move on. Because you don't need to come up to that stranger on the street in Toronto and say some jackass shit to somebody when they're just trying to enjoy themselves. That's what I'm saying right there. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's keep going. Trevor's saying this. Scottie put on a masterclass last night. Now one could not stop him. No one could stop him, even when the referees try to make it. All right. Yeah. Let's talk about, there's two subjects in what Trevor's saying here. Talking about Scottie and talking about referees. Well, let's talk about Scottie first. I noticed in the last few games, it was a few games ago, I said Scottie leveled up. Well, the level up is something that you see a first glimpse of sometimes first. Now, how often does that become established? How often does it become the baseline? How often does it become the what to be expected? And the thing is, Scott can jump up and have really amazing bona fide performances like last night. But will he be able to do these night in, night out going forward? Because that's going to be the next test for him. Listen, we're not trying to stop right here. No, we're not. Darko's not, Sky's not, and I'm not either as the Raptors freak. Michael Grange may be questioning Scott as like, how do you think you're going to get better, Scott? Well, you're already really good. What do you mean you're going to get better? Well, you revisited that with him last night in the interview after the game, didn't you, Michael? He's like, Scottie, you were so good last night. You're so good tonight. Yeah, I knew I would be, Michael, is what he said. he's like, yeah, I have confidence in my ability. I know I can do this. And Michael Grange is so shocked. Like, Scottie, you were so good tonight. He told you, motherfucker, last week in the interview when you came at him and said, Scottie, what makes you think you can be better? And he said, well, I'll show you in a week from now. I'll show you even better and better and better. I'm just saying, the thing now is going to be the consistency. The part of it is the cat's out of the bag, Scott. Listen, in the post-game interview after the game, you said the word rebound a lot, and I love it. And so I was like, I've often wondered, Scottie, when are you going to concentrate on rebounds? When are you going to be a power forward that's known for being a badass rebounder? Because honestly, to have that moniker, the label, power forward, a true four in the league in the past, it was about the rebounder. You had to get like 8 to 10 rebounds to be a bona fide four, like Otis Thorpe and Buck Williams and Charles Oakley and them. I always bring those guys up because they are prototypical power forwards. But they always knew the first assignment is to get the rebound. Now, Scottie hasn't always concentrated on getting rebounds. I think this is a very, like, in the last year kind of thing, primarily this season. And I like his get after it to go get it. In some ways, he's applying his acumen, his vision of the game ahead of time to the rebounds finally. And I'm starting to see a better result because he's mixing up his size and strength with his IQ to go and get to the spots to grab those rebounds and make sure we do that. Because this is the thing, man. Defense is only as good as ending the possession. And the rebound is the most important part of the defensive possession. Is you could play good defense, stop somebody, get a deflection, but if you don't get the ball, they keep going. And if you don't get the rebound, they get another shot. So Yak and Scottie out rebounding, outclassing Mobley and Allen last night is a huge thing. And that's the thing. Scottie, after the game, talking to Kayla Gray, saying, I'm rebound. He's saying the word rebound. That made me so happy because this is the thing. Brandon Ingram could be the go-to guy and the number one option on offense. Scottie concentrates on defense and rebounding. He's going to get points somewhere in the middle of the game. And especially if, like we said earlier, the Cavs defense is coming to stop Brandon first. Well, that opens up everything for Scottie then. And then you see Scottie get way more shots, and all of a sudden he's got 28 points. So it's an interesting phenomenon. And even when RJ's not totally effective, there's a hierarchy of weapons and different ideas that Darko can go to, whether it's Emmanuel being on like he was last night, whether it's Scottie doing what he does, whether it's guys off the bench waking up and contributing more. There's a lot of options. A very potent team, very deep team, a very skilled team, and a very together team. And we're going to be a tough team for everybody for the rest of the year. And, let's get used to this, Raptors fans. Seriously, we are a winning team. We need to carry ourselves like this. If there's anybody in Raptors Nation still kind of half-assing about, I don't know if we're very good this year, you shut the fuck up. You didn't get your evidence last night? Seriously? Science lab. Put up those microscopes. There's no reason to have lab today. We won. We're badasses. And we don't need to analyze and over-critique. Why don't you just say, hey, we got the W. I can enjoy my weekend. Yeah, now we go to Indiana to play Pascal and them tomorrow, and they are just down and out with a 1-10 record. So it's like, hey, the games are coming up. They're pretty easy. We need to get some more clearance over 500 and keep that record really healthy and nice with a high percentage and just shoot up to the top of the Eastern Conference. Do people believe me now that I said the Raptors could be a top 3 Eastern Conference team when I said that shit in June? I hope people believe me now because I said that shit in the middle of the summer. I didn't wait until now to get evidence. I told y'all on paper with Brandon Ingram, with him showing up, we're going to be damn good this year. And all the people that get gaslit by the press, the Canadian press, the U.S. press, gaslighted by content makers like Pensair, all those people could be misled and not believing and not really, truly trusting that the Raptors are going to be good this year. But this guy didn't. This guy knew the whole fucking time we're going to be like this, like how you feel this morning after you saw that game, Raptors Nation. I knew we were going to be like this. I knew we were going to move like this. I knew we were going to be tops. And you just got to believe in your team. Don't have a Leaf mentality. Don't get like Leaf Nation. Fuck that shit. We are the Red Raptor Nation. They are the Blue Leaf Nation. And they're the cynical pessimists that shoot themselves in the foot without striving to achieve by dreaming of it. See, I dreamed that we could be the top 3 in the Eastern Conference. I dreamed it in my bed and woke up the next morning. The Raptors could be top 3 this year. I think that's when I said I got up that morning and I said that. It's just, you have to really, truly be positive and believe in your team, and great things happen. That's the thing right there. That's a lesson from Blue Jays Nation this year. That's a lesson for us as Raptors Nation. And you know what, Leaf Nation, maybe someday, if you practice it hard enough, you'll master it and you'll get better at it too, like we have. You just got to believe and stop shooting yourself in the foot with negative self-talk. How about that? Because I feel like that's what gets in the Leaf Nation's way most of the time. Yeah, the referees last night sucked, Trevor J. It was 8-on-5. I'll wholeheartedly say ref manipulation was in full effect last night, but it didn't fucking matter because our guys are like that. Yeah, you're going to give the same amount of free throw attempts to the Toronto Raptors' whole entire team as one man on the other side, Donovan Mitchell. That's true. 17 free throw attempts for Donovan Mitchell last night and 17 free throw attempts for the whole entire Toronto Raptors team. Okay, Josh Stiven. Okay, buddy. You want to go ahead and be a douchey guy, a douchey on the challenge. We lost our challenge at one point, and it was really kind of a weird fucking ruling in some ways. I was like, well, okay, whatever. That's douchey. There was some weird ass calls like, why the fuck did the Cavs get an extra free throw after the challenge call? Like, what the fuck was that? Where was that call? There's a weird ass call like this. There was one call in the first quarter where Scottie got position on a smaller player for the Cavs in the paint. and they threw the ball into Scott. And I know that the Cav fouled him, but he turned around and he made the shot. But Josh Tim was like, no foul on the floor. And they didn't even give him free throws. And they were almost preemptive of trying to stop the Raptors from scoring in that position, because as soon as they saw the advantage Scott had size-wise right in front of the basket in the lane against the smaller Cavalier, Josh Tiven whistled and said, no, he didn't even let Scott go up and try and make the move or score or anything and try and get an M1. He immediately called foul, and the foul was on the floor. And because there was no bonus, we succeeded such great positioning right underneath the basket with a mismatch. Josh Tiven stole it from us. That's how ref manipulation. And the fucked up thing is it's not even the bonus. So Scott doesn't even get to go to the foul line for 2 fouls. We have to side out and put it in play again and succeed that amazing position he had in the mismatch. And that should have been an easy basket. That's Josh Tiven stealing an easy basket from us like that. And then what was that convoluted shit at the end of the quarter, that one quarter, where they put like tenths of the second on there, and then they called a foul on Jacoby with some bullshit and gave extra free throws to Donovan Mitchell at that point? That was absolute horseshit. Absolute horseshit. Crazy ass calls. Yeah, Tiven, fuck you, bro. Fuck you. You tried to stop us. You tried to fuck us up, and it didn't work. We had it better than them, and we kicked their ass. And whatever storyline Adam Silver had for last night with Cleveland and Toronto fucking didn't come through, because we are like that. We're going to write the storyline that's right because we are better than y'all and better than the refs even trying to help them. I love that. That's a top quality team. That's a good team. Darko said it after the game. He said, we can't slouch. This is a very good team. But listen, I'm not trying to get ahead of things. I'm looking at each game one at a time, and we're taking the next thing up, and we just go through it, and that's how we do the season, and that's the right way to do it. That's the way I do it on this channel. And you know what? Kudos to you. You beat a very good team, and you beat the refs last night, Raptors. Seriously. Those motherfuckers were trying to channel that game, guys. And foul calls and the touch fouls and all that shit, they could do all kinds of bullshit, but you know what? We still got them and beat their ass. And that's what matters right there. That's right. 8-on-5 was there. Rise up and kick their ass. That's right, Trevor. There was 8-on-5 last night. I will say that undoubtedly. That was true. That was true. Donovan Mitchell getting treated like LeBron James out there. You just breathe on him. That motherfucker going to line. There's all kinds of goofy ass easy calls for him. And, people like RJ, Grady, and Jacoby got in foul trouble. Come in there and say, come on in, Grady, for like 30 seconds. Get 2 fouls on Donovan, go back out. Let's bring in Jacoby. Jacoby, you get 2 fouls on him. Go back out. And RJ, I know you were trying your damnedest. In some ways, the RJ Barrett games in the last 2 games have been really defensive focused, and him just trying to do things that aren't scoring. And that's why in some ways he's not making a shot. He's not doing some stuff, is because he really is trying to work very hard against guarding people like Mitchell. RJ had Mitchell to guard at the beginning of the game last night, and that's not an easy guard. That's not an easy guard at all. But yeah, kudos to RJ for trying. Yeah, Trevor's saying this. Cleveland rested players but couldn't stop that beatdown. The coach said we was too quick. They had no answer to slow us down. Yeah, we had stepped to it. But you know what Kenny Atkinson also said? He's so funny, man. He said, yes, we were tired, but let's not get it twisted. We're all tired in this league. I'm sure they were tired too, is what he said. He said, I'm not going to use that as an excuse. The trip and coming there, I know we were a step slow and we were tired, and I'm kind of using an excuse, but also at the same time, the Raptors are probably tired too. And that's just how it is. It's the NBA. We're all getting tired here and there. He did blame his starters for poor effort. He did. He said, these guys don't want to put in the effort to go do the things we need to do to win. We're not going to win. Poor effort by the starters also is what Kenny Atkinson said. He said that after the game. That's right. Let's see. Trevor J saying that Sam Mitchell said this about Scottie. There's not 12 players. I jumped ahead. Let me make sure I don't miss it. There's not 12 players in the East or West better than Scottie, All-Star, NBA All-Star. Yeah. Darko after the game, and some people are torching him in the comments. It's so stupid for saying that Scottie should be on the top defensive line of the year. Yeah, that means the all defensive team, idiots. You say he's making up awards right now. No, he just called it a weird roundabout way. He meant he thinks Scottie should be all defensive team this year. That's what he said in the interview after the game. And I think he's right. I think he's right. I mean, let's go look at him. He's my number one star of the game, obviously. Scottie is really, really awesome last night. 28 points on 12 of 22 shooting. So very efficient shooting on volume, which is fantastic. He made all 3 of his free throws. He made 1 3. 10 rebounds, 8 assists. So just 2 assists away from a triple double. He only had 2 turnovers, so 8-2, a 4-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, 1 steal and 5 blocks. And these blocks were against guys like Mobley and Allen. And they're right up near the basket, man. Like there was a real defensive seal and presence of Yak and Scottie around the basket last night that took away a lot of the stuff that the Cavs get their bread and butter offense from. Early in the game, Jared Allen came out pretty good. He was annoying me at first because it's like, he's had a couple games recently where he gets around 30. Like the game before, the night before, he was the only one who played against Miami. He dropped like 30 points in that game to win the night before we played them last night. And well, in some ways, people were asking, why the hell does he hate Jared Allen in the comment section? Kenny Atkinson, why does he hate Jared Allen? He only played him 20 minutes. Cavs fans, are y'all idiots? Jared Allen played like a huge amount of minutes against Miami the night before. And in some ways, much like Nick Nurse has to manage Joel Embiid for injury, so does Kenny Atkinson for Jared Allen. So if you don't get why Jared Allen didn't play a huge amount of the game, he only played 20 minutes last night. Well, there's your reason. Plus those guys were just out playing those 2 guys. And I love the stops. Like there was a certain point late in the game in the fourth quarter where Cavs couldn't score jack shit on us. In the second half, there were droughts for the Cavaliers where they didn't score any points for certain stretches. And we're just rolling and stopping them and like really right at the rim and really aggressively, like second and third, fourth effort to stop them and just denying the Cavs, a top team in the East, anything right at the basket. That's Yak. That's Scottie. Thank you. Thank you. That was badass, man. But yeah, these guys were awesome. 35 minutes, 28 points. Scottie, a plus 18. Yeah, you got to love it. Oh, you got to love it. 5 blocks. Defensive, offensive, let it flow. Scottie in transition, running up, getting little layups with his little finger rolls, and wrapping around people. He had a 1 dunk last night on Sam Merrill. He dunked a reverse dunk on Sam Merrill and then fell over his ass. I'd never seen that before. Scottie had it in the right place. People were coming. He couldn't do his little turnaround and look. So he had to go up and reverse it behind his back. And he landed on Sam Merrill and fell on his butt. And that was funny to me. In some ways, that was a real dunk. Like, it's like you're dunking on him. Literally, the man's laying on the floor. You just reverse dunk on him, and then you fell over him. That's pretty cool, honestly. It's pretty cool. But Scottie was awesome, man. I like that he's not taking a whole lot of threes. I like where he's shooting from. A lot of that middle in the lane kind of stuff is fantastic. And he's really deadly. And that's what Jamal Shed was talking about after the game. It's a really special shot, the mid-range for Scottie right now. And he noted that as the biggest difference in the 2 years since he's been on the Raptors and watching Scottie and his progress. He's saying that mid-range is really special, guys. I agree. It's very special. He says it's kind of ugly, but it works. I think it's awesome, man. I don't care. I like when he shoots it with one hand, like the baby hooks, but if he has to do the turnaround both hand shot, it's working too. And yeah, we saw him making shots over Evan Mobley, doing turnaround fadeaways and things like that. Really good stuff, Scott. Really good stuff. Wholeheartedly the number 1 star of the game in this one. Yeah, second star is Emmanuel. Emmanuel shot so good last night. And now Reddit is coming out in full effect with apology posts. Everybody has to apologize to Emmanuel quickly now. Reddit is all over the place. Y'all need to apologize to this man, is what they're saying. They got posts of Emmanuel on Reddit right now. And everybody who talks shit about him to the start of the season, you have to go and come back and say you're sorry. Yeah, you do. It's mandatory. If you want to continue to be a Raptors nation, you have to come and apologize to IQ for your half-ass bullshit at the beginning of the season and him slumping. Once again, casuals that have not watched basketball for a long time. Basketball is a sport that is not just static. It's a sport where there's biometrics. People go up and down with their energy. Just like you get tired and you get more energy. You get your second win. Teams can be like this. Individuals can be like this. And sometimes certain players are just off for parts of the year. And honestly, if you love your team, you support your team, you are a nice, comfy place for them to land while they're struggling, instead of an asshole who's coming with pitchforks and torches to say, you get this guy off my team. Seriously, what the fuck is this, y'all? All our guys are great players and talented players, and they wholeheartedly want to win for Toronto. Why the fuck does Toronto want to dissect them and come after them for one bad game? Seriously. If there's anybody coming with pitchforks towards RJ Barrett right now, shut the fuck up, because it makes you look stupid. We won 6 out of the last 7 games. I don't care if Brandon Ingram struggled last night and only got 11 points. We won. And in some ways, he was the decoy. He was the decoy last night while Scottie tore them up. So listen, it's not going to be a static thing every single night. Not all the players are going to shoot well every night. This is not a perfect world. In some ways, you got to allow for some failure, as long as the overall is the W and the win for the team. Seriously. So, yeah, I'm sick of those people that are like that. Emmanuel Quickly, 10 of 13 from the field last night. Shooting like what? Doing like what? It's 10 of 13. What? That's right. And Kenny Atkins said Quickly killed us with his speed. He killed us with his speed. Oh, my gosh. I didn't know how to deal with Quickly. He was too quick and too speedy, and he made his shots. He was really badass. 25 points for Emmanuel. 5 of 7 from 3. Yeah. You understand why Darko gives that man the green light to shoot whenever, wherever, whatever he wants to do? He's the only one on the team that has that green light. Not even Scott. Scott doesn't have the same green light that Emmanuel has. Brandon does not have the same green light that Emmanuel has, because Emmanuel is a very special talent that has range within half court. He's a very special talent that can stop on a dime and bomb a shot in his swish right through the net. So let's respect Emmanuel Quickly. Let's respect that this man is deserving of his contract, and let's respect and love that he's on our team. How about that, Raptors fans? I'll say that right there. That's right. 6 assists for Emmanuel with only 2 turnovers, a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. He got 1 rebound last night. Normally he gets more rebounds, but yeah, a plus 13 in 32 minutes, 25 points. Emmanuel Quickly, you're a badass. Call 5 if you need threes. That's what I say to y'all. All right, call 5. Okay, motherfuckers? People that don't believe in Emmanuel, call 5, and you can find out. You'll find out there. That's right. Third star of the game for me is Yak. Yak had a very, very solid game last night, a very efficient game. He was the emergency dump off in a lot of situations last night. And as I said, that tag team of Scottie and Yak beating the bigs for the Cavs, that's a huge victory, guys. In some ways, that's something we needed. No Yak in the first game against the Cavs, and we still beat them in that game with just Scott against Evan Mobley. This time they get Jared Allen and Evan Mobley against us. And, well, we have Yak back. And, well, tag team match. We want to see a super heavyweight tag team match. Pirtle and Barnes versus Mobley and Allen. Well, 2 out of 3 pins. We've won 2 pins already, and they don't even get 1 pin. So we're doing 2 out of 3 Australian rules. Yeah, they're already down for the count because we pinned them twice now. That's right. Jakob, 20 points, 7 of 10 from the field, 7 rebounds, including 3 offensive rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals for Yak, plus 7. Yeah, Yak was just solid, man. I'm serious. Like, the defense by Scottie and him was so impressive last night. That is not a shitty team. We just took down one of the top playoff teams last year. Seriously, that's a very good accomplishment. I'm going to keep talking about it. 4th star off the bench. A very active, very sneaky, very entertaining player named Sandro Mamukelashvili. That man is fun to watch, isn't he? You can see why he's a fan favorite in San Antonio and Milwaukee before he came to Toronto, because he's all fun. Like, I love him. Like, both him and Scott had these, like, these guys are our 4s, right? In some ways, you could say they're 5s. These guys both dribble the ball full court and go make layups on the other team, just like going directly to the basket. And Kenny Atkinson didn't like that. He talked about how these guys just got right to the basket. We didn't stop them. They just went right to the basket. Yeah, we saw Sandro dribble around as a 4, as a big, huge man, almost 7 foot tall, dribble right up the court, go right to the basket, and just lay it up on y'all. That's awesome, man. I love that, man. Sandro, 13 points, 4 of 5 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3, made all 3 of his free throws, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, a +8 in 17 minutes. Sandro Mamu, you're my hero, bro. You're awesome, man. He's really been a badass, man, and such a great addition. Y'all, some people are saying he's the best addition this year, but no, it's Brandon. Brandon is the best addition this year. Sandro's second, and Colin may be close and tied with Sandro. So it's like those 3 guys are additions this year. And, all 3 of them are plus needle pushing, helping decision add-ons, additions. They really are. I mean, Brandon's the biggest needle pusher, but Sandro and Colin are contributing to the huge increase in why we're badasses this year. Someone was running in the yard just a second ago. I was like, what is out there? My last star of the game is the backup point guard, Jamal Shed. Jamal Shed is a game changer. Jamal Shed is steady. Jamal Shed is fun. Scottie joking about him, finding him in that one little pass off and the dunk that Scottie got. He loves playing with Jamal. Jamal's just a badass, man. And he's a keeper, man. Listen, I know a lot of Raptors fans are anxious to see him be a starter, and they know that he's going to be this. But let's let this all be in its own time. In some ways, Jamal has a destiny to be the starting point guard for the Raptors. But it doesn't have to be anytime soon, guys. In some ways, we need to allow him to grow this way. Now, if it's a weird situation where all of a sudden Quickly is Brunson and Shed is Quickly, then other teams are going to try and entice Jamal Shed to come and play for them because they can offer him a starting job. That's when Bobby needs to do something and say, no. We want Shed VanVleet in Toronto because this is our guy and we're developing him and this is where he belongs. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with all that. I'd like to keep both of them because in some ways, we've seen them playing together a lot. The Quick Shed lineup is fun. And when Quickly and Shed are on the court together, it's absolutely a cool winning kind of thing that's going on. It's a really cool thing. There's some guys that honorable mention. I'll honorable mention Grady Dick, 6 points on 2 of 3 shooting, 2 of 3 out of the 3-point range, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal for Grady. He had a +10 in 21 minutes. Yeah, I thought that Grady was good because he hit a couple of open threes, and they were big-time spots where he was really wide open. And he nailed them. And we need him to do that. To do that. And I like the confidence, and I like the way he was moving last night. He was getting after it. RJ, like I said, he didn't shoot a whole lot last night and didn't score a whole lot, but he was important in different ways. In some ways, he took fouls on Mitchell. In some ways, he's like still providing offensive pressure on their team defensively because, he's a threat. And he did go and get a couple of important baskets, even though he didn't score a whole lot last night. 9 points for RJ, 3 of 9 from the field, missed all 3 of his threes. In some ways, he's been so hot from 3 to start. I knew there was going to be a little bit of a cooling off. And we, once again, need to allow for different levels of play for our guys. They're not going to be all just set up the same way every day. You got to let them be at different levels. 3 of 4 at the free throw line for RJ. He's shooting his free throws way better this year. So you got to give him that. He had 9 rebounds. So what? RJ didn't score. He got 9 rebounds. He was out there doing something to help contribute. He was on that rebounding gang with Barnes and Pirtle. So that's important. 4 assists and 1 turnover. So he wasn't turning the ball over and causing problems. He just wasn't hitting his shot or taking a lot of shots even. He only took 9 shots. RJ usually takes about 15. So, in some ways, RJ had to shrink his role a bit last night. Scottie grew his role. And, Brandon and RJ just weren't as prominent. And that's just how it goes sometimes. And once again, we have versatility. We have options. That's a strength. That's a strength right there. That's not a bad thing. Still, RJ was a +2 in 27 minutes. So he was on winning time out there, even if individually he wasn't having one of his best stat lines ever. Brandon, 11 points. So between RJ and Brandon, 20 points between the two of them when they each average 20 normally. Is that a big deal? I don't know. Somebody else carried the slack and we still won by 13. Is that what matters? That's what I say to people. Seriously, 5 of 15 for Brandon. So he got the volume. He just didn't make them. 33% of the shooting, and he missed all 6 of his free throws. I mean, missed all 6 of his 3-pointers. So between RJ and Brandon, they were 0 for 9 from 3. And in some ways, you know what? We shot really well from 3 anyway. It's crazy. Brandon also 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, and a block, +5 in 35 minutes. I mean, I'm not hating on what Brandon did. Once again, Brandon and RJ may not score a whole lot in some games, but they hit key clutch baskets late. Like, it doesn't matter if Brandon's 5 for 15 for the game, because late in the game, there's going to be a moment in the last 5 minutes where we're going to go to him and he's going to absolutely get a basket for us in a very high pressure situation that's difficult to score at, because he has it like that. And I don't care. He could shoot 2 for 10 the whole game. And then in the last quarter, he can make those 3 in the last 5 shots that he gets. And then all of a sudden he's a 5 for 15. And there's nothing wrong with that, because in some ways it's not exactly what you do the whole game. Sure, we want him to be as efficient as possible and make as many shots as possible. But if he makes the shots that matter at the end of the game to help us stay above the other team that's very good and they're trying to come back on us, RJ muscling in a couple of baskets right at the end of the game, even if he only scored 9 points. Can you see where the value in these 2 guys is, even if they don't score a huge amount of points themselves for that night? Because in some ways they're doing the work right at the end to help us close it out and make a couple of big baskets to keep that deficit against the other team up. It's important, man. It's important. Let's go look at more of the box score real quick. Jamison Battle got in there for 2 minutes and made 1 shot. He got a rebound and a turnover also, +5 in 6 minutes with 2 points. Garrett Temple got to get out there and run around a little bit. And you know what? He collected a block shot in 2 minutes. Just 1 block shot for Garrett. But it's fun to see him out there running around for sure. Jacoby Walter, 13 minutes of play. He got 4 points, 2 of 3 from the field, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. No turnovers. So he was pretty good too. 3 offensive rebounds, by the way. So he's just solid contributions in little ways to help win. It doesn't have to be major or huge. Play good defense, get a couple rebounds, hit a couple shots. Boom, you're good. You're good. So yeah, I'm really happy with the Raptors' overall performance, man. They did like this clip yesterday where the Raptors were guessing or picking between great players. It's a really long half-hour clip, and they went through like so many players. In some ways, I don't like that TSN did that with them, because they use a lot of current players, and we don't need shit-talking kind of bullshit. And these guys, not that they dissed any of the current players. In fact, they were glowing about a lot of them. Kevin Durant and different people like that. It's just not a good look, TSN, because we don't need our guys to be like kind of like glazing or talking too much about current players that are in the league. And in some ways, these clips get out and the other teams see it. It's just not a good look. It's amateurish to ask these guys. Now, I don't mind you playing this game with non-current players. Go ahead and put the Jordan, the Bird, the Chamberlain, the Shaq, the Olajuwon, all that shit with the guys who aren't playing. But when you put Luka, Victor, Giannis, Joker, these are guys guys have to deal with. And in some ways, you don't want to put them in a bad position. In some ways, seriously, I worry about everything with this team. And in some ways, that's not a good move to make them pick who's the better player, Giannis or Luka. Like, fuck that shit. They shouldn't be playing games like that. In some ways, RJ was awesome, staying in for SGA. He's like, yeah, this is my guy, SGA. Yeah, he's better than this guy. And of course, RJ at the end said, if anybody picked anybody other than Michael Jordan, they're wrong. He's awesome. RJ's right. I mean, some of the choices in that clip were questionable. Jonathan Mobo, I don't know what you're fucking thinking, man. Just because somebody's classic don't mean they're shitty. And man, you said some wild shit about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in that clip. That's just not accurate. It's just not accurate. Garrett Temple, of course, knew what he was talking about. The old head has been in the league for 17 years. He knows his classics. He knows the greatness of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. And he spoke like he knew his stuff, man. He was awesome. But yeah, some of the other guys, it was interesting. Of course, Jakob let it be known that he does have a proclivity for the great Tim Duncan. And that he straight up said, that's my guy, Tim. I got to pick him. Tim Duncan is my guy. Yeah, I know. He taught you for what, 4 years? We love Tim Duncan because in some ways, Jakob Poeltl is who he is because of Tim Duncan. You know what I'm saying? I like that Abaji was really, really big on Olajuwon. He said, I wouldn't even be in basketball without Akeem Olajuwon. My dad would never have watched basketball in the first place. So I have to give a lot of credit to Olajuwon. Olajuwon was his GOAT. He got to the end with Olajuwon over Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. And that's pretty interesting right there. I was shocked that Scottie picked LeBron over Kobe. I'm like, what are you doing, Scott? Kobe's your favorite, right? No, he picked LeBron as the greatest of all time. It's crazy. Shed, very, very smart with his decisions, I thought, on that clip. He had very good reasoning. He was very respectful to a lot of the players, the way he talked about them. Some of the other guys were knuckleheads, though. I like that the Jayhawks were very much standing for Wilt. And Grady and Osha were like, nah, we got to go with Rock Chalk Jayhawk, Wilt Chamberlain. Sorry. But yeah, it was a fun little game. It's an interesting clip, but I would caution, don't do it with current players. You may be opening some bullshit you don't need for the Raptors. Seriously, don't do it with the current players. It's not smart. But yeah, check out that clip the TSN put out yesterday. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. Bryce is here. Good to see Bryce. He's calling him Scanis Bartedecomto. You know, I agree with you, Bryce, and good morning, man. Thanks for checking in from Kentucky. You know, that was one of the early models that they were trying to design Scott into. They even dropped it. Like Darko said in the last 2 years, I'm trying to make Scottie more into Giannis. And there is that. And you definitely see it with the transition game where he's just coming downhill and nobody's getting in his way and he's just laying shit in. There was definitely some Giannis-like layups by Scottie yesterday. But I'm telling you, this is a little bit different. I mean, in some ways, Giannis does get this team defense stuff too, and his team with the Bucks. But the thing is, like, and I said this to Scott in his rookie year afterwards. I said, Tim Duncan, Scottie. Tim Duncan. If you want to be like anybody in this league, you need to be like Tim Duncan. And you know what? You ask Yak. He didn't play with Tim Duncan, but Tim Duncan was his special coach as a big man coach in San Antonio for a few years. And he knows Tim Duncan really well, and he understands what he does. In fact, part of why Jakob's got a good push shot and he plays the way he does is because of Tim Duncan, because Tim Duncan had that same push shot. Think about it, guys. That shot that Jakob shoots with that push shot, the way it's so money, and it's a one-handed push shot, that's Tim Duncan's push shot. And who knows how many hours Jakob Poeltl spent with the great Tim Duncan getting that push shot right in San Antonio with Popovich. So, Scottie, I would say this. I said it before. The 3 players you need to be like, and the one you're most naturally like is Magic Johnson. You're going to be Magic Johnson with no-look passes and amazing assists, thread-the-needle assists, showtime kind of stuff like that. Yeah, the mid-range, the turnaround game that you're showing now, that's Kawhi. That's Kawhi. You do more of this unstoppable turnaround shooting stuff like Kawhi does, where just money on those baskets along with the threes. That's Kawhi. But then the team defense, the rebounding, the shot blocking, Tim Duncan. Those are the 3 guys. I told Scott. Scottie said, who do you guys think I'm like? He asked the Twitch family on his Twitch channel. I said, who do you guys think I'm like? And that's the 3 players I said. And people laughed at me. They laughed at me in the summer of 2022. They laughed at me because they couldn't see this shit then. I could see this shit developing in the years to come. But they laughed at me this time. You think he's going to be like Kawhi? What the fuck, Raptors Freak? You're crazy. Kawhi? You think Scottie's going to be like Kawhi? Yeah, he can be like Kawhi. Trust me. He's got the same hands as Kawhi. All you need those claw hands and a certain amount of strength and speed that's in the right combination. And you could be Kawhi Leonard. Oh, yeah. Yeah. What? You think he'd be like Tim Duncan? Tim Duncan's great. He's got dynasty. 5 championships. He's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, power forward in the history of the NBA. You think he'd be like Tim Duncan? Yeah. Yeah. If he gets his IQ up on defense, he understands how team defense runs and how he can be the hub in the center of it all, and he can be the absolute top-notch defender, the physical specimen he is, he can't be Tim Duncan. Yeah, he can. For sure. Yeah. People didn't want to believe this shit. Now we start to see the evolution. And when you have a player that can have Magic Johnson, Kawhi Leonard, and Tim Duncan all in him at the same time on the court, that's very special. We're going to have to see if he can consistently do this now. Well, Indiana is tomorrow. Scottie, you want to do another performance like you did last night against Cleveland, against Pascal and the Pacers? Let's see. I want to see it. I think you can. I think you can. That's right. And then Compto, maybe on the drives, but I'm seeing those other three guys that I just named. I'm seeing them. Bryce, so good to see you, man. Let's see. James is here. Good to see James. Kareem Thomas. Everybody, yeah. Rock your everybody. Rock your body. Everybody. Rock your body right. The Raptors are back. All right. You got me singing boy band shit. Come on now, Kareem Thomas. I'm sad that I know that song. Damn it. That's right. We're back, baby. That's right. We're open for business. Tell them we're back. And they're in trouble now. That's right. That's what we're saying this morning. Right, Raptors? Raptors Nation? That's right. We're getting on the meme war. And we're saying, tell them we're back. Tell them we're back. That's what we're saying now. We are back. We are back. And we're coming to beat everybody's ass. That's right. And this month's going to be a really good month. Now, we're on this 5-game road trip. We're going to play Indiana tomorrow. And we've got 3 out of the 5 games won. So it's already a winning trip. We are 3-1 on this road trip. And if we win tomorrow, we'll be 4-1 on this road trip. And I wanted 3-1 or 4-1. I said, actually, I wanted 4 wins on this road trip. So we're poised to do it. We just got to beat Pascal and the Pacers tomorrow in Indiana. And that'll be a good tune-up game because we're going to play them in the in-season tournament very soon also. So, yeah, that's right. James is saying this. Shed is a good floor general. He's just a good person. He's just a really smart guy. And he was funny. He was like saying he picked SGA because he's half Canadian now. That's what Shed said. He was like, I'll pick Shea because I'm half Canadian now. It's so funny. It's so funny, man. Yeah, Shed's awesome, man. 2-point guard lineup was great. Yeah, the quick shed lineup, that's what I'm going to call it, quick shed. We'll put him in the quick shed. Yeah, take him out to the quick shed, Darko. Yeah, put him in the quick shed. It's like battle dick formation. You know, we've seen a couple of different lineups. That once again, we see Brandon plus 4 bench players lineups. Those are good lineups, actually, because they help the bench guys get going because Brandon has so much gravity. And he's a safety valve for those guys, just in case they have trouble struggling to score. Is just get the ball to Brandon. He's always a emergency choice. But because of the gravity of Brandon, he gives so much space to Battle and Dick to get those open threes. And it's beautiful, man. There's a lot of good synergy and good pieces that are working like clockwork off each other on the Raptors team right now. In some ways, it's a testament to Bobby Webster's team building, along with Masai before with him, and also a testament to Darko's plan and how he's organized things and how he has the different guys working. Because we're actually playing – the great thing about this era of Raptors right now is we're actually playing with roles. You know, there was a period in the Nick Nurse coaching time where we were playing no roles, and there was stuff that just wasn't getting done right. And it kind of annoyed me. Now we have real roles happening with our guys. You know, Brandon has a role. Jamal has a role. Scottie has a role. Jamison has a role. And I think when people understand their role and they know what they should be concentrating on the most, they can focus that on more instead of being all over the place with everything like we were when we were the long arm monsters. And we just had a lot of talented guys with Siakam and Anunoby and Barnes and Precious and a whole bunch of guys. But it wasn't no real role definition. In fact, we didn't even really have a center or point guard for a while. But now we have very defined roles. We have a true starting point guard. We have a true center. We have a true backup point guard. And that kind of shit is a big part of our success right now, is that we're organized better. And guys are playing their roles, and their roles are catching all the duties to help you win basketball games. And I love it. I love it, man. It's awesome. G's here. Stars of the game, Scottie, IQ, and yeah. Top 3 stars for me, too. Once again, guys, the phone line is open. If you want to talk on the air, you can have your voice over the air. If you have the phone number, you can get access and call in, and we'll hear your enthusiasm about a great Raptors win. That's right. G saying this, Yak is so important. He is such an anchor, does the dirty work, sets great screens, pushes other bigs around. Yeah, he's very good. Like, and he feels like I think he's back. Like his back is okay. I think his back is okay. And I think that, you know what, he loves playing on this team so much. I just love and revel in the joy that guys have playing for the Raptors right now. I think that the team overall as a whole group is the most enjoying, most together, most bought in, most loyal, most team that I trust the most in the history of the Raptors ever. And part of it is RJ, part of it's Scottie, part of it's Jakob. They just really like, you know, the interview I heard with Emmanuel in the last couple of days saying about the trade from New York to Toronto and how it changed him and just like how it's for the best for him. And he really sees that. And he's just really relishing the opportunities here in Toronto. And we're starting to see him blossom right now with some of the great performances recently that, you know, people are starting to shut up and say maybe he does earn his contract. I love that. But these guys really do love playing for Toronto and they're really bought in. And I love that, man. The joy. I mean, this is a thing. Scottie, I told Scottie on Twitch, I said, you're going to love playing with Jakob Poeltl. When we first got Jakob back, I said, Scottie, you don't even understand how much Jakob Poeltl is going to be one of your favorite people in the world. And he is. He's like, at this point, he's like, man, Yak is so awesome for him. He's that big man he always wanted on 2K on his squad running on there. You never find that big man, but he can find him in real life in the NBA on his team because Bobby Webster's got him here on contract playing for our team. But yeah, Yak for him, it's a professional thing. He's a professional basketball player from Austria. He's the only one who's ever played in the NBA from his country. And in some ways, he's not trying to waste his NBA career, you know, not progressing or getting better and better. Some guys that come in the league and just be bumps on the log and just play their careers and earn their money and whatever. No, Yak wants to be better and better every year. And he wants our team to be better and better. And like it's a project and we're working towards it. And somebody like him, he gets extreme satisfaction from seeing the team turn it around and start to win again. You can think about the years that he was here in Toronto before. The Raptors were poised to make a run for a championship, and Yak was traded with DeMar right before we won it. You know, he felt that feeling of where we were building to when he was first on the team with Dwayne Casey. Then he went to San Antonio and played with Popovich for a few years, and they were really bad. He lost a lot there. And he had to kind of weather tough years in San Antonio, but he's been pining for what's happening with the Raptors now for a few years now. And it's great because he came here. He understood the assignment when he returned to Toronto that this wasn't going to be overnight. There is a rebuild that's going on, but it must be so sweet to him 2 years after coming back that he's seeing real fruits being born on that tree of success. You know, that's got to be awesome. The trip through San Antonio, you know, missing out on the 19 championship is in some ways the reason why he wears the 19 on his jersey. And, you know, that's a symbol to him that he wants to win a championship. And you know what? They build something worthwhile and they do this, continue to do this right. He can do this here in Toronto as the second Larry O'Brien for our franchise. And that 19 number on his jersey may have to change to what, 26, 27? I don't know. Let's see. Can we win it this year? I don't know, man. It's so awesome. Seymour saying this, a convincing win for sure, Sheriff, for sure. You want to do 4 quarters? You can call me. If you're still in BC, I don't know where you're at, Seymour. I hope you're doing good. Troy Henry, good to see Troy Henry, longtime Raptor freak. Good to see him back in the chat. I think it's safe to say we have the nicest bench. Shed was the MVP, in my opinion. He's just an unsung hero. He's a great leader on our team. And, you know, he's doing what's the best for the team. There's no selfishness in him. You know, there's no selfishness in him. He's a darling around the league. In some ways, he is one of our best assets because everybody around the league wants him. Let's just put it that way. Jamal Shed is somebody everybody wants in this league. Everybody on this, every league, every team in the league would love to have Jamal Shed on their roster. I'm telling you right now, they would. And testament to Masai and Bobby for getting that man in the draft when they did from Houston. That's right. It's a testament right there. G's saying Scottie locked Evan Mobley up and Yak son Allen. Yeah, the thing about, and I love Scottie's humbleness on this. You know, he's friends with Evan. Scottie is friends with Evan. Those guys are all friends from that class. Cade Cunningham is best friends with Scottie Barnes. Jalen Green is best friends with Scottie Barnes. And Scottie Barnes is not totally best friends with Evan, but he's fine with him. They are friends. There's a real respect there. You see him before the game, they dap and they smile. And honestly, Scottie's not going to diss Evan. And in some ways, Evan's not going to diss Scottie. They're above this. In some ways, they get it. People are going to be comparing them for the rest of their careers. In some ways, that's just part of the nature of the NBA. But in some ways, they're not doing it themselves. They're not making it any bigger special than it has to be. There's just other players, and they're playing against each other. The press and everybody else wants to compare Mobley to Barnes. They can go ahead and do that. But in some ways, that is not the way those guys are thinking. And Scottie has a very mature attitude about the comparisons. And it's really like, in some ways, it's like, he just is very flattering towards Evan, is what he is. He says, Evan's an amazing player. He's the depoy. He's just this and this and this. He's not going to diss him. There's not going to be any feud. There's not going to be any like riled up thing. This isn't, it won't get to the point like Magic and Bird, where, that was a real trash talk kind of like, there was a lot of real animosity. There's no animosity between Evan Mobley and Scottie Barnes. There's a lot of respect and there's a friendship. And in some ways, I think that as long as they compete against each other fully to try and beat each other on the court, there's no reason why these guys can't be friendly and respect each other otherwise. So I like that. I respect that. In some ways, Scottie is showing a lot of maturity in that area with his rivals from his draft class. He just doesn't take the bait of all the bullshit that the media tries to build up. And I appreciate him for that. I really do. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Honorable mention to Shed. He's a winner. That guy is a winner. He's one of the most winningest winners in his Houston Cougars history. That's right. Scottie played one hell of a game, not flashy, just consistent. It was a complete game. In some ways, I don't know. Can we say this is the best game Scottie ever played in his career? Probably not. But it was an all-round game. That's the interesting thing. Maybe he's had a better offensive game in the past. Maybe he's had triple doubles in the past. But this one was a balance between both sides of the court that was kind of different feeling in some ways. And that's what I'm saying. That's what he thinks too, is like, if I can keep this consistent kind of level on both ends of the court of contributing and being at this level, that's the next stage for him. That's where we level up with him next. Is that, night in, night out, Scott is dependable on being a team defense leader, and he's going to get you a certain amount of offensive output too. So that's what we want to see. This guy's bona fide for sure, an all-star, if not an all-NBA player. People are starting to wake up to this right now. That's right. Isaac's saying this. 3 years ago, we turned off the TV pissed off as the refs stole the game late. Today, BI3 makes us so dynamic, and we now make the refs look foolish for even trying to steal it. Yeah, this is a complete crap. In LA, the Lakers, they decided we couldn't beat the Lakers one night. And Darko said, basically, why do we even come to the arena to play if the referees won't let us win? That was a weird game, because in that game, we didn't have a lot going on well for us in the season at that point, and we needed that victory. And it absolutely killed some momentum for our season. And we were actually trying to get things going in January of that year. And the refs crushed a real shift for us. It's like they killed a run, or like, teams go on runs. Well, in the season, you can go on runs with games, not just like in the game kind of runs. And we were starting to go on a run as a team, and they absolutely killed our momentum 2 years ago that way. And it sucked, man. So it's nice to be powerful like this. In some ways, we haven't had talented enough teams to weather a bad refereeing crew being very partial against us. Yeah, but it's much better now. Isaac, I agree with you, man. They're going to try and do some shit. They ain't going to be successful. That's right. Is that Squidward? Some weird blue guy. I don't know. Stand on business. Okay. And he's like doing a yoga pose. He's like a crane. He's in crane position. Interesting, man. Interesting. Isaac's saying this. Refs were so impressed by the Raptors, they wanted to rewatch all our plays in slow motion. Yeah. Josh Tiven, we saw you too much talking. And either way, who cares? We got the win. We got out of there. Daniel Scott was okay at times. Kevin Cutler was his normal kind of blustery, annoying self. And Josh Tiven is still a manipulator. In some ways, he was fucking with us, but it didn't work. It didn't work. And honestly, I love it. We got the first win with Josh Tiven present this year, and that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And there was a damn thing they could do. That's why I say we got to have a 10-point cushion because the refs will fuck with us if we don't. And I think Darko gets that. I think Darko gets that. And it's very doable with the offense we have now, is we can do this kind of shit now. That's right. Yeah, we got separation from them, kind of like the game before against the Nets, where we kind of separated from them in the second quarter and then held that margin for the last half. That was important because, like, yeah, we kind of busted them up in the second quarter last night. And that was very, very, a very crucial quarter. Very crucial. Let's see. Troy's saying this, and that's another thing to let people know. Raptors are for real this season. They are a threat. When you see Cleveland rest their best players just to take off on the next day, that you say something. Yeah, that was strategic by Kenny Atkinson because they lost the first game against us, the in-season tournament game, and there's only 3 games against us this year. So they knew going in to the game this week that they needed to beat us last night to have a chance to win the season series. And now they've lost it. There's nothing they can do about it. We played them only one more time in Toronto in like the next 2 weeks on the second night of a back-to-back again, but a home back-to-back. And they've already lost the series. So at the end of the season, if there's a tiebreaker, we've got the tiebreaker over Cleveland as of last night. And that's a big reason why they rested their guys from Miami to play against us. And it backfired. It didn't matter. They still got in at 3 a.m. from flying from Miami the night before, and they were still really tired and all fucked up. So, yeah, it didn't. But it didn't even matter that Mitchell and Mobley didn't have to play the night before because in some ways they still got outclassed and outbeat. That's right. Good to see Troy, man. Really good to see Troy. Nako saying this. They gave Donovan a lot of free throws. Shed's a keeper. Scottie's amazing. IQ is earning his contract. Thank you, Yak. Yeah, that's all short and succinct. He's hitting a couple different guys there. Yeah. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell's an annoying player. And, in some ways, I get why he gets the calls he gets. But also at the same time, he's a little overblown. 31 points for Donovan in 36 minutes, a minus 18, 7 of 18 shooting, 5 of 17 at the free throw line. So look at that. Half of his points are gimme points given to him by Josh Tiven. Seriously. Half of his points, 15 of his points come at the free throw line. 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 turnovers for Mitchell. Mitchell turned the ball over one more time than he actually made an assist. And he had 1 steal and 2 blocks. So, yeah, that's just how it is, man. He's a high volume guy, but he's not always quality in his volume. Let's just put it that way. The other guys, Evan Mobley only had 7 points last night. In fact, the Cleveland press were asking Kenny Atkinson, how the hell did Evan Mobley only shoot 7 shots last night? I think that may have something to do with the guy who's guarding him. I think that he might have had Barnes syndrome, where as far as like somebody's fronting him and not denying him the ability to even get the ball is part of why he only got 7 shots last night. I don't know if they were trying to find him. They couldn't get to him because as much as they were trying to deny Brandon Ingram on our side, we were denying them Evan Mobley, and he only got 7 shots in there. Yeah, Jared Allen only 6 points himself. So those the big 3 for the Cavs, ineffective. Some people were saying they got to have Garland to win. Okay. The best player to me was Hunter. Hunter was very annoying in that game for a while. He was doing a lot of different things to get scores and, just a mixed bag of different things. Playing very big. And, of course, Tomlin, this guy off the bench, he was annoying too. He was very physical and long and doing good things for them. He had 18 points on 8 of 10 shooting, 6 rebounds. He was like he had 5 offensive rebounds. He was like the bright spot for their team, Kenny Atkinson said, basically, is that Naquan Tomlin absolutely showed something to him and made him very happy about that game last night. One bright spot there. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting stuff, man. Seymour saying, salute to Bobby Webster. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Yeah, thank Bobby and also thank Masai. Always thank Masai. Seriously, I may be like delusionally thanking Masai 5 years from now still. I will, seriously, because in some ways there is a real reason to thank Masai for every Raptors success going forward forever. Seriously. you can make a good case for why you should thank Masai Ujiri when the Raptors win, no matter when going forward. I mean, it's a similar thing, like I said, to Red Auerbach and Boston Celtics. There's a lot that you can thank in Celtics Nation for Red Auerbach. And he's our Red Auerbach. Even if it's just one championship and Celtics fans laugh at us, you guys have one championship. How can you have a Red Auerbach? No, you got to understand, Masai Ujiri is that kind of transformational executive and figure in a sports franchise that has that kind of gravity and change in the team. That level of change is that huge. He is like a Red Auerbach for us. And, you know, it's not the era of like so many few teams and dominance with Bill Russell where y'all can go get your championships all through the 60s. No, this is a different league and a different time. And the fact that this man was successful in leading the only Canadian team in the NBA to a championship in 2019 is wholly impressive. And in some ways, sure, it's not the 18 or 19 championships y'all got, but it's still the same kind of effect. Just trust me. The Celtics to Red Auerbach is the Raptors to Masai Ujiri. And for the rest of the history, eternity, Masai Ujiri has a fingerprint, a mark on the Toronto Raptors franchise forever. That's just the damn truth. That's just the damn truth. It's always going to be that way. HC's here. Oh, crap, man. All right, listen. HC is kicking my ass right now in the fantasy league. He's got a over 200 lead on me. I've got work to do this weekend. Oh, my gosh. HC is taking me to the woodshed. He's taking me to the quick shed. He's taking me to the quick shed right now. It's not good. Other games right now. Bryce is leading over Cool Cat. Fiercey in a very close game with Amit is just behind. Jason Dukes is just got a slight lead over MK. That's a huge matchup right there. 200-point lead for Nins over Omari. Kareem is losing to James by about 100. Cass has got a lead over Andrew right now. And Gerald is doubled up on Logical Raptors Fanatic. So, yeah, HC, man, mercy, bro. He's kicking my ass right now. I got to get going. He's really serious this year, I can tell. Morning, y'all. Good game last night. Yesterday I was doing a job, so I was on audio only. Lex, heard your fear about our matchup. Doesn't look good, bro. Hard finding players with so many teams. Yeah, the thing with you is like you're 3-0, I'm 3-0. This is a huge matchup. This is like the big marquee matchup this week in our fantasy league. And one of us is going to lose. And right now it's looking like I'm going to lose. But you know what? I'll be honored to lose to you because it does seem like you're very much having a strong year. I've got a bunch of injuries all of a sudden. Like it doesn't help that Osur Thompson's out for me all of a sudden. Kawhi Leonard is out all of a sudden. And Jamal Murray and Steph Curry have not been totally 100% in the last week or so either. So some of my best players are really in bad shape. Benedict Mathurin's been out too. So it's like, what's Lex supposed to do? I'm going and getting Charlotte Hornets off the waiver wire and throwing them in. But either way, HC, the best team win. Right now you're beating me. So we're just going to have to see how it goes. I'm going to give it a good effort still over the last couple of days. 3 more days to play until we decide it. We'll see. Seymour saying this, WNBA draft prospect review of the day. Any names? Yeah. Does anybody want me to do a scout of the day for the WNBA? We looked at Rice yesterday, and I liked her. The point guard for UCLA, very, very good shooting guard and a standard point guard. And if Teresa Resch and Monica Wright-Rogers and Sandy Brondello want to draft Rice out of UCLA at number 6 in the draft, you got my thumbs up on that one. She seems like a very good player. Very good building block of a smart, steady point guard. But if there are any NCAA women's prospects for the WNBA draft at number 6, Toronto Tempo's first ever draft pick, give me the names. We'll do a scout of the day. If you know somebody in college you want me to look at. That's right. Seymour, thank you for the emoticons. Pretty cool there. Troy saying this, refs were trying so hard for the Cavaliers to get the W. It was obvious. Yeah, I mean, that flaky shit with the clock and just drawing out that end of that quarter, most teams don't do this shit. And the fact that they gave him free throws, in some ways, the foul on that play, he wasn't shooting. In some ways, that should have been maybe a side out to inbounds instead of Donovan just getting 2 free throws. Plus, because like, think about this. I mean, I get it. It was in the bonus, and that may be why they did that. But you know, he was shooting a 3. We're lucky they didn't give him 3 free throws in that instance. But in some ways, it's like the foul was on the ground, Jacoby just barely touching him. He didn't even really fucking foul him. That kind of contact at the end of quarters and games is usually fine, and they're not nitpicky about just a little touch foul with zero point 0.3 seconds to go. Then all of a sudden they're setting up free throws for Donovan Mitchell like that. That's fucking whatever. I think that in some ways, when that kind of shit happens at the end of quarters, there's something to do with the spread and something a little fucking fishy about gambling. You know what I'm saying? Like, where it's like, oh, let's give Donovan 2 more free throws real quick. He's a money free throw shooter, and that'll make the spread more in line with what we're trying to do for FanDuel or Bet Rivers or the degenerates, the illegal gamblers, or somebody's parlay out there, or some shit like that. I always get suspicious of that kind of shit. And I wonder how much the NBA refs, certain NBA refs, I don't think all of them, are fucking doing Tim Donaghy kind of point kind of bullshit. Because that's the thing. This is the thing, Adam Silver. You got this gambling wide open. I'm gonna be fucking thinking shit like this when Josh Tiven's giving extra free throws to Donovan Mitchell at the end of a quarter all of a sudden. Because I know how these parlays work. It's like, who's winning after the first quarter? You bet on that. What's the spread after the first quarter or the first half? You know, you're trying to manipulate to make sure some people get weird little secondary gambles and bets on like weird stats and like, oh, at halftime, the Cavs will be winning by 2. You know, you got to make sure they get these bets. And that's why you give in a couple extra free throws to fucking Donovan Mitchell with 0.2 seconds and shit. Seriously. That's what I start thinking when I see shit like that, Troy Henry. Is like, wait, are you guys trying to manipulate parlays right now? Is that what the fuck's going on here? Neil saying this, Raps need to get Sixers some payback. Yeah, let me go look at my calendar real quick. We got my calendar here. Of course, it's Bruce Brown Jr. is on my calendar for November. Come on now, Calendar Club. Yeah, Philadelphia is next Wednesday, guys. And we'll have a day off. Yeah, and we're going to be in Philly again. So we're playing in Philly again next Wednesday. And yeah, that's a payback game for sure. That's a payback game for sure. I got you on that one, man. I got you on that one. All right, G wants Tania Lotson, WNBA draft prospect. All right, let's go look at her on Wikipedia first. Tania Latson. All right. She is American. She played for South Carolina, just like our guy Colin Murray Boyles. She also played for Florida State in the past. So she was on the Florida State Seminoles ladies basketball team. Okay, she's from Miami-Dade. She went to high school in Miami. Grew up down there, I guess. So she's a Florida girl. Okay, so she was ACC Rookie of the Year in 2023. And she's also been the scoring leader of the NCAA. She was the scoring leader in 2025. So this past season, she's Florida Miss Basketball. Latson. Interesting. What's her height? She's 5'8". Okay, all right. Let's go look at her with the eye test, and we'll get on the YouTube and look at Tania. Very, very cool. Very cool. I like doing this, man. Honestly, it's just different for me. I'll scout the guys. But it's different for me to scout the ladies. And I'm gonna really have to get up to speed with this WNBA. I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna learn more and more. All right, this is the Tania Lotson 2025 NCAA tournament highlights. It's similar to the one we watched. Okay, no volume. I don't need it. It looks like she was playing for Florida State in this game. So, okay, let's see. Where is she? Okay, that's her up ahead. The layup. Okay, so she's the one. Let me just pause it for a second. I want to see which number. She's 00. Okay, yeah, she's 00. Okay. Oh, she's got a big butt. She's got a Lowry butt, man. I like it because she's got a tenacity and toughness. She's got a toughness. She's got the long hair too. All right, let's see. The ball handles look good. There's a nice strong move down the lane with a left-handed finish. Looking very RJ Barrett on that, actually. Very powerful. There's a nice little pass off to the side and then a fadeaway in the corner. Nice. So she's got a nice shooting shot. So she was a scoring leader in the NCAA. That's pretty good. There's a nice finish in traffic with contact and making it over the player. Very, very cool. It's a taller player too, much taller player. She faded away and got the angle up over the outstretched arm, and she's falling back too. Yeah, I like her so far. Oh, and there's a nice steal. She telegraphed and got in the passing lane, and there she is getting past and making the layup and finishing with a taller defender running at her. So yeah, I like her. She's a load. She's kind of like, you know what? She's reminding me a little bit of Shed. She's reminding me of her. So this is like we've looked at 2 point guards. It looks like because she's a point guard, right? She's a point guard, right? She plays guard. They say guard it means combo. Oh, nice dump off to the big lady, the big girl, the big woman, I should say, the big woman. Yeah, her center here is looking like Brittany Griner. She's very big. That's a nice 3 from the corner. Nice follow through. She's got a nice stroke. Nice shot. Yeah, I don't know. I like these guards y'all brought me the last 2 days between Rice and Latson. I like the fact that she's a Seminole. I mean, seriously, I can get behind an alma mater with Scottie Barnes and me. That's right. I'm a Florida State graduate. And, well, Latson's Florida State. Okay, bring her into tempo. There you go. Oh, there's a nice IQ bomb from like 4 feet away from the 3-point line. It's just confidently. You going to lay off me? Well, I'm going to take this. You shouldn't have gotten in my face. Bam, hitting it through. All right. I see who this lady is. She's got Kyle Lowry big butt, and she's got a toughness to her, and she's got a nice shooting touch, and she's a scorer. She can score all kinds of different ways. She can score from outside. She can go inside, and she's even got a mid-range. So, wow. All right. I like Latson. Latson's thumbs up for me. Once again, this is 2 days in a row of the Scout of the Day for WNBA Draft. And I'll give a thumbs up, 2 thumbs up for Tania Latson as a prospect for the Toronto Tempo. Let's go. All right, there you go. Thanks for the Scout of the Day, guys. Thank you, G. That's right. Neil's here. Good to see Neil. Let's see. Keep cashing checks and keep on keeping receipts. That's right. Cashing checks and breaking necks. That's what the great tag team Chronic used to say in WCW. Brian Clark, Brian Adams. Chronic. Yeah, they say we're just out here cashing checks and breaking necks. Yeah, there you go. We don't want any necks broken though. Kaz is saying, "Good morning, Lex from Raptor Free Crew. Great win last night." Yeah, Raptors fans, how you feeling? You feeling better? You feeling good? Wasn't it a treat? Wasn't it a treat last night to watch the game last night? Speaking of treats, listen, I don't have the straight goods on Canadian goods, but I have goods on Swiss goods. And you guys know Lindor chocolates. It's this time of year where they have the festive special with Swiss Chalet, and they may be giving you something like this, full of little chocolates, Swiss Chalet, a great Canadian restaurant. You should eat there. But yeah, it's much better than Kentucky Fried Chicken or any American restaurant. But yeah, Lind, the chocolates are fantastic. Now, recently, they just announced that they switched from sending any of the chocolate that they manufacture in the United States here anymore. No more chocolate from U.S. Lind has decided they're going to send all the chocolate directly from Europe and their plant in Switzerland, and they're cutting the U.S. out as a middleman to distribute to Canada because of the Trump tariff wars and the bullshit. So know that if you're buying Linder chocolate right now, you're buying it directly from Switzerland, and the U.S. is cut out now because they fucked up and they have a shitty president right now. So yeah, I got these cookies and cream Lindor chocolates. I know you're looking at these and you're like, damn, Lex, those are good, man. I know these are cookies and cream flavor, but know that they made this switch recently. That Lind, as a Swiss chocolatier in Switzerland, has cut the U.S. out, and we are just directly getting our Lindor chocolates from Switzerland now. So buy it in good faith that we have cut out the U.S. in that deal, and you're dealing directly with the Swiss if you're buying Lindor chocolates. And if you're going to Swiss Chalet and getting these, you know what I'm talking about, these things right here. You want those. I know you do. And these are cookies and cream. Should I try it? You want me to eat one real quick? Let's do that. I'm going to eat one. Cookies and cream, Lindor chocolate. I haven't even had my lunch, and boy, is Lex kind of cheating right here. But you know what? Because life is sweet, and last night was a treat. I'm going to eat one right now. That's right, in celebration. Here we go. Look, it's cookies and cream. So you see it? Oh yeah, I know y'all are jelly. It's just like eating an Oreo. Better than eating an Oreo, too. That's right. So, yeah, Lindor chocolates. It's Swiss, and we cut the U.S. out. So go ahead and buy it, and you're fine. You're fine. That's right. You got to have your sweet tooth for the holiday season. That's right. That's right. Let's go. Shaq Lindsay. Darko has my vote for Coach of the Year. I love the voices from the other side talking about how Darko's badass. Kenny Atkinson really talked a lot of good things about him. You know, we're hearing a lot of really good acclaim from his peers. People that are going up against Darko, other coaches, and they're talking him up. And, you know, even the analysts are starting to notice this. Like listening to the Brooklyn broadcast the other night when we were playing the Nets, they were very respected and like saying things like Darko is such a good coach. I wish that a portion of our Raptors nation would understand this. Seriously. I wish y'all would understand this and just listen to the experts, because y'all aren't experts about Darko. Anybody who has negative opinions about Darko, you're not an expert, but you're just too damn wrong. And well, go listen to experts. Why don't you go listen to people like Charles Barkley? Go listen to people like Kenny Atkinson. They'll tell you who Darko is. It's a little too sweet. So yeah, leave it to the experts. Raptors Nation, Science Lab. Get your microscopes, put them up. This lab's closed. And just accept that your coach is good. And he's doing good things. And we're winning now. So just shut the fuck up. I know. I hope he wins Coach of the Year. Seriously, he could be a huge, strong candidate for this. Seriously. The thing is, like Kenny said, like he's got high-level players, like longtime vets like Jakob Poeltl and Brandon Ingram buying into this crazy, frenetic, really exert yourself offense and defense. It's like it's hard to get guys to commit to this shit. Seriously, that in some ways is impressive enough to give you Coach of the Year. You make your team run full court press 48 minutes and they go and do it. Still, yeah, man, you're Coach of the Year. How the hell did you get that effort out of those guys? I'm just saying. I think he's going to be one of the top candidates this year. You're going to be right, Shaq Lindsay. That's right. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting the channel. Isaac Campbell also. Don't doubt me. Only big dubs in the chat. That's what Scott says. Don't ever doubt me, Raptors freak. He told me that a long time ago. He said, don't ever doubt me. And I've tried to carry that message to the rest of Raptors Nation. If you doubt Scottie Barnes, you're a fool. You better not doubt Scottie, because he'll show you just like he did last night. And that's right. That's right. Only big dubs in the chat. That's right. W's. HC saying this. GPT says you look back. GPT, Gary Payton the second, GPT, which means you need light coming from the inside to match the outside. Getting a light diffuser for inside would brighten you up even more, and it definitely fish. Oh, you're talking about my lightings thing here. Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is half-assed what I'm doing here. I just like, it's nice out, but the light is weird. So GPT says you look backlit, which means you need light coming from the inside to match the outside. Getting a light diffuser for inside would brighten you up even more. And I have a light I've been using. I didn't use it today. I could plug it in and see what happens. Let me see. All right, I don't want to lose my microphone though. All right, let's see. I'll put it on. I mean, I'm not only I'm kind of experimentally lighting the show. Like this helps, right? You can see my face better. I don't know why I turned it off today, but if I move like this, you can see the outside. I want to figure out a way to have the outside viewed when you can see me also. But alas, this is advanced lighting. Maybe if I hide down here and I just talk like this, you don't have to see me. I don't know. I know you're trying to help me, HC. But in some ways, I don't know if I can be helped. All right, let's just keep going. Neil's saying this. Hang on. Jumped ahead. Let me make sure I don't miss it. It was HC, the last one. Neil's saying this. I originally predicted we go 6-4 from game 11 to 20. After last night, we can go 8-2 easily, as long as we take our opponents seriously. Cavs are crying. They are tired. You know, I'm so happy we won this game last night, because I had allowances to lose the Sixers and the Cavs game on this road trip and go 3-2. But now we can go for 4-1 as long as we beat Indiana. And it just helps stack on top. Like, in some ways, you know, it'd be one step forward, one step back, winning against Brooklyn and then losing against Cleveland, and all of a sudden we're back to 500. But no, instead of going back to 500, now we're 2 games over 500 because we beat Cleveland. And one of the things that was really cool about last night, other than Scottie getting the chain, is Scottie's speech in the locker room with the team afterwards. He said, guys, we need to get used to this. We need to win every game, and we need to do what we did tonight to win over and over again. Scottie's getting the assignment better and better. And in some ways, this is the thing. And it may be he's a little bit slower on learning some stuff. Like, we can gauge him against his draft class of Mobley and Cade and see what they're doing at this point. In some ways, it may seem like Scott's behind in some ways, but he isn't in some ways. Because in some ways, it's the philosophical ideas. It's the idea of what he's doing now to help the team win. And the thing with Scott is, once again, it's not about scoring and hitting threes and offense and stuff. He does everything to help the team win, whatever it is, whether it's shot blocking, rebounding, organizing the team, whatever. And he's holding this to a standard. And this is what he expects now, is winning against teams like the Cavs, like last night. So in some ways, Scottie is, as a leader, is going to expect more of the whole entire team to kick ass and win way more often. And the way he's talking about it in the post game, in the locker room, in the little short clip I heard his speech to the players after the game in the huddle, he's serious about this shit. And he's got the right attitude, and he can do it. So Raptors fans, seriously, get used to winning way more, because Scottie has figured out some shit. He's feeling more powerful with Brandon around, and Jaka's healthy, and we need to kick everybody's ass going forward. I'm just saying, man, we got the weapons. We should for sure. We should for sure. That's right. Wayne's saying this: morning, Raptor Freaks. Wins on the road are worth more to me. It shows grit, and playing at home will take care of itself. Love it when fans allow players and our team to just gel organically. Next, Indiana. Next, Sergeant Wayne. Indiana, Pascal. They're down. We got to kick them while they're down, unfortunately. It's just how it is. But yeah, I love what you're saying here. Is the road win is more important. The Raptors have been winning on the road. Their road record's actually better than their home record in some ways. And in some ways, we're played more road games than home games so far this season. One of the things they say about a good team is that they beat the teams they should beat, like Brooklyn. They beat the teams that they should that are tougher to beat, like Cleveland, and they win games on the road. They also say that good teams are teams that do not hang on. What was I going to say? What's the other one? I think those were the ones that said they win on the road and they don't lose to teams they shouldn't lose to. Those are really the two things. And also they win season series against Eastern rivals, which we did last night also. So, we want to win all of our series against the Atlantic Division. We want to beat the Celtics for the season. We want to beat the Sixers for the season. We want to beat the Nets for sure. And we damn for sure want to try and beat the Knicks too. So these are ways to check on how good we are. Are we winning on the road? Yes. Are we beating the teams we're supposed to beat, like Brooklyn? Yes. Are we winning season series against top Eastern teams like Cleveland? We did last night, 2-0. And there's only one more game, so they can't win the season series. So this is good benchmarks. And I agree, Wayne, the road wins are impressive so far this season. They really are. It's too bad we had that Texas two-step and that terrible Texas trio to get a 3-game losing streak at that time. I'll bet you money, if we gotten those games later in the season where we're a little bit more polished and figured out, we would competed. We would have won the Dallas game for sure, but we would have given San Antonio a better run if we were further in the season when we went to see the Spurs. I'm just saying, man. Neil's saying this: Lex, the dumbasses that attack IQ are back to attacking RJ. It never stops because many people act like babies even when they win. Well, this is why I'm saying, like, look, at this point, and this is why I kicked that person out yesterday, is I'm not judging you on whether you say you're a Raptors fan or not. I'm just judging you by what you fucking say. And if you're only dragging our team down and being a critic and talking shit about it, you're not a Raptors fan, because we're winning. We won 6 out of 7 games, and there's no reason to be upset as a Raptors fan right now. So you tell on yourself invaders or nefarious sheeps and wolves in sheep clothing coming into our social media spaces and talking down our team. Robert Panser, you're probably the biggest example of a wolf in sheep's clothing that is not actually a Raptors fan, but absolutely somebody who just wants to pull apart the Raptors from the inside. But you come in as saying you're a Scottie Barnes fan. I'm sick of these people. In some ways, judge these people for what they say, because what they say is exactly who they are. And if they're going to talk shit about RJ all of a sudden, they just switch their tune from IQ to RJ. Well, you're not a Raptors fan. You may be in Raptors Nation, but I will not give you the status of being a fan. It sounds like you're a piece of shit, and you just hang around in Raptors social media spaces. So take people for what they say. That motherfucker who came in here yesterday and said, I'm glad Masai Ujiri is fired. Yeah, I took you for what you said, and you got the door shown to you. So that's just how it is. That's just how it is. I'm judging people on what they say. I don't know you. I don't know what you look like. I don't have to know who you are. You could be a bot for all I fucking know, coming into Reddit and just making up shit. There could be people that are fans of the Knicks that have made bots that go around to Raptors related spaces and just put out confusing bullshit that's negative. I'm telling you, this is the world we live in now. There are bots that are they're automatic, and they're just coming out and doing this shit. And there's no human being that did it. It's just an algorithm. It's just a computer program. And they're coming in with comments, and it's whether politically in some places, there's a lot of manufactured people that aren't real. They're absolutely bots, and they're just trying to crowd out and make noise in certain areas to try and change the narrative and the perception of things. Whether it's making it inflate to think that there's way more MAGA in this world than there is, whether it's people coming into our spaces and trying to pull apart strings because we're doing really well and they're scared of us and they're desperate at this point to grasp on something. So they're going to come after RJ. So once again, I say Raptors fans, judge people by what they're saying. If they really honestly think they're Raptors fans and they just criticize the team all the time, tell them they're not. Because you're not put on this earth to criticize the Raptors. You're put on this earth to watch them and enjoy them. And anybody who's just on this earth that they think that they're just here to criticize the Raptors and judge them and nitpick them and be in the science lab with a microscope, you're a loser. Go find a hobby. That's what I say right there. That's what I say right there. Mischief's here. Good to see the bass, man. Having 5 guys in starting lineup that can score 20 every other night is rare and effing amazing. He's reveling in it. I love it too, Mischief. I'm going to give you a dunk. I love that cool emoticon that you used at the end of there. Yeah, the versatility. I mean, Jakob can get 20, obviously, because he did last night, right? The versatility and Brandon's going to be covered up. Well, we're going to go to Scottie more. 27 on the dunk charts for my friend Mischief. He's got the Jamias Ramsey. That's right. He's got the Jamias Ramsey, 27, baby. That's right. Roger Raymond, how are you, sir? Thank you for supporting the channel. Great day, Raptors freaks. What a treat to watch the team grow. You know, it's very satisfying, especially if you've been there since Darko showed up and you've seen the climb, you've seen the build. In some ways, if you've seen the struggles since the championship with the pandemic, Tampa year, all kinds of crazy shit, the Raptors having confusing things with Nick Nurse. And now we're starting to see things pay off. And I've even seen some people in social media saying this is the best I feel about the Raptors since their championship year. Since this year after the last year of Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka together on our team. Yeah. I mean, I feel that too. I feel like very confident. I feel very swaggerish. Like we have swagger. Like we have the ability to fuck anybody up in this league on any given night. And that includes you, SGA, in Oklahoma City. They can say this and that about this in Oklahoma City, but listen, they are still fallible. They can still get beat. And honestly, maybe the Raptors are one of the teams in the league that actually handle the Thunder better than most teams because of our style and who we are. You know what I'm saying? We can play anybody. We can play anybody. That's right. What a treat. What a treat. That's right. What a treat. Should I eat another one? No, I don't want to ruin my lunch. Yeah, eating treats. That's right. Let's see. Neil's saying Jamal doesn't have to be a starter, but Darko needs to have Shed as first off the bench to up our defense and free up IQ. However, Darko will need to bring up Chucky the deeper we go in the season. Yeah, I mean, I just want it to naturally progress. Look, I love Emmanuel. I want Emmanuel to be a Raptors for as long as possible, but I'm not the GM. And Bobby Webster will have some tough decisions to make with the point guard position in our team in the years to come. This is obvious. Chucky Hepburn's not shooting as well right now on 905. And in some ways, there may be a limit to what he can actually be on the big team. And, I want to encourage him, and I'd love for him to be a powerful NBA player full time. But there's no guarantees Chucky will translate to being a full time NBA player. He is an undrafted player who showed up, and we'll just have to see. But I want him to have that. I do. And I'm rooting for you, Chucky. And I think you can do it. It's just that these tough decisions will have to be coming down the road, but they're not anytime soon. And in some ways, we can allow for all these guys to develop the 3-point guards in our system right now to get to different levels and see what happens with things. Manuel's contract is for a couple years, and it's a very good rate for what he's going to be doing for us more and more going forward. And once again, last year was an anomaly for Manuel quickly. He's mostly been healthy his whole entire career playing basketball at all levels. Last year was the most hurt he's ever been in his life. So this year, hopefully, we're going to see him mostly of the 82-game schedule played by Emmanuel, and you'll get a better idea of how he's earning his contract, everybody. You get a better idea this year. That's right. That's right. G saying this. Lex says but unfortunately, we have fans conditioned to believe we cannot have several good players, so they end up pitting players against each other as if it's a competition rather than a team. I don't think these are our fans, guys. I think this is the same energy around 2000 that drove McGrady to Orlando. I think that some of it is the press because they hyped up that bullshit a lot around 2000 about McGrady and Carter. I think some of it's hockey press. That's doing this because they know the Raptors being more talented and successful is hurting the NHL. And in some ways they start bullshit like saying, oh, they can't have all these good players and stuff like that. But I also think that once again, it's the phenomenon we're just talking about, G, that there's fans of other teams that are scared of us that come into our social media spaces and start trying to tear it apart. It's a similar thing to like fans, like our fans going into Celtic spaces and saying Jason and Jalen can't be on the same team. They're too good and they don't share the ball right. People have been attacking Celtics Nation with this kind of rhetoric for years and years. I did it for a long time. I gave up on it because it's proven that Jalen and Jason can play together and that they've thrived and they've won a championship this way. But for many years, I was saying this narrative in different places and trying to pull them apart as a Raptors fan from the outside. So can we understand that maybe, we're not checking people at the door with ID on Raptors Reddit and Facebook and Instagram. We don't know who these people are when they come in, and they could identify as being Raptors fans. In fact, the nefarious ones may put up Raptors stuff, but they're actually Knicks fan. And they come into the comment section and they start talking about RJ. I mean, doesn't that make sense? Seriously, I don't think that these people are, if they are Raptors fans, they're misinformed and they're idiots because you want as much talent on your team as possible. But I think it's more likely that it's the two things I described. It's the press making that narrative up because they have in the past, and some of them may be worried for the sport of hockey. And then the other thing is other fan nations. And then the other thing could be just if they are Raptors Nation, they're just dumb and they're fucking idiots. And that's part of it too. So I think there's a little bit of different tiers of what we're talking about. And I don't think they're all Raptors fans. I think that they're bullshit artists and nefarious people that are misrepresenting themselves. Let's just put it that way. Let's see. G saying this. Hello, career critiquers. Yeah, Science Lab. That are so miserable. They can't even enjoy wins. Every single player has a bad shooting game, sometimes a few. Did they impact winning in other ways? Rebounds, assists? Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a real Raptors fan, you should be on cloud nine like the rest of us right now. Cloud nine, RJ's number. That's right. We should be on cloud nine right now because we won. If you're not happy after the wins, when you're telling us that you're not really for the team, right? That's an easy way to litmus test this shit in the moment. Is like, why aren't you happy? We've won 6 of our last 7 games. Like, you should be happy. Wait, why are you not happy? Wait, let's think about this. Maybe they aren't for us, actually. And that's the reason why they're acting like assholes and writing all this shit still. I'm just saying, because in today's online world, there's so much fakery between deep fakes, AI, voice manipulation, all kinds of fake shit. You've got to take everything for face value. And if people are purporting their opinions in negative ways and being critical and stuff like that, you get what you get. You figure it out from that. You know what I'm saying? All right, we got a call today, guys. Let me make sure this is on speaker. Here we go. Caller, you're on the Raptor Freak call-in show.
Hey, it's Infamous.
Hey, Infamous. Good to see you, man. Thanks for calling in on a Friday, reaction Friday for the Cavs game last night. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Salute to all the Raptor Freaks and the Raptor Freaks family, and salute to you, Lex.
I appreciate it.
Nothing but truth. I mean, there's two things I want to focus on. We all know how great Scottie Barnes has been. Scottie Barnes has been incredible. But I'm glad you mentioned something. There's something that people need to change their way of thinking when they're viewing basketball. We've been conditioned to think that a person has to score a lot of points to be effective. No, Scottie Barnes has been. I saw a post. Somebody was saying Scottie Barnes is struggling. I go, are you serious? Scottie Barnes is not struggling. He's doing other things outside of scoring. We've been so conditioned just to think about scoring, and if a person is not scoring, they're not playing well.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that in some ways I blame Steph Curry. I think in some ways I blame the 2010s and the over bias of offensive game and the detriment to the defensive game, and when it really just got way too lopsided for offense. And that at that period of time, if you're a young person, you grew up in that period of time, you're kind of tainted for your image of what the NBA is. Because in some ways, I don't believe the 2010 superstar LeBron KD era is actually true NBA. Because in some ways, there was a real they just cut the power of the defense off for a few years there. And I think that that's part of what shaped this whole thing is that. And I think it's also highlight culture. I think it's dunk culture. I think it's highlight culture. People, some ways, Adam Silver said himself, there's a lot of people just watching highlights and not actually watching the full game. And that influences people in some ways on thinking things. And plus, people want to look down on people, too. They're like, oh, this guy only scored 6 points. He is obviously a bad NBA player. You know?
Right. And this is where scholarship needs to be placed into basketball. Listen, I want to tell folks, Scottie Barnes is the best player. I will keep on saying it, in my opinion. Scottie Barnes is the best player on the team. Scottie Barnes can do everything Brandon Ingram can do. And this is no disrespect to Brandon Ingram. He can do everything Brandon Ingram can do. Brandon Ingram cannot do everything Scottie Barnes does. That's the difference. Now, Brandon is the best scorer, I believe, on the team.
He's the most polished.
The best player.
He's the most polished for sure.
Yeah, because Scottie Barnes does so many things on the team. Now, I want to focus on two unsung heroes that we don't talk about too much. And I think one of the most surprising and I think one of the most influential is definitely Jamal Shead. Jamal Shead and Manu. We don't talk enough about those two players. Those two players have definitely impacted the team. And I also want to give, and I have to be corrected on this. I was kind of questioning Darko a little bit. Like I'm not full blown like Darko needs to go. Darko's this, Darko's that. But Darko has been coaching brilliantly the past few games, and what he's done, that was brilliant coaching. What he did in the Cavs game, and people didn't recognize what he did. He knew the Cavs played the night before, right? Yeah. What he did is he sped up the offense. He sped up the offense more faster than he usually does in that game. If you notice the first two quarters, the offense was sped up, like really. And that gets a team tired by the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was a brilliant move.
I agree with you. I think that both the 905 and the Raptors have been utilizing running the other team off the court so far, because there's been games like even the Brooklyn game on Tuesday, the Nets were tired and couldn't keep up with us. We've seen this consistently in all three of the 905 games so far this year, is that the other team just doesn't have the same level of running around or cardio, and they're just falling out. Like some games, like in the second quarter, they're falling out. It's not even in the second half. Teams are falling out against us and the energy we're putting out there. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the second brilliant move, and I know you picked up on this.
Sure.
He brought out the old Dwayne Casey playbook with the 2 point guard lineup. And you know what's funny? I've been saying at the beginning of the season, I go, you know what? I don't know if it was going to work or not. I think we should try that 2 point guard lineup just once, just to see. And the brilliant thing about how it works this time than how it worked before is because you're working off two strong defensive, athletic,
Yes.
quote unquote athletic point guard. The reason why it was kind of a little bit shady back then is because we love Fred VanVleet, and this is no disrespect to Fred VanVleet, but he's not an athletic point guard. You know what I'm saying?
And neither one
Shed
of those
is
two guys
athletic.
back then were. I don't think Lowry is either. So
Yeah,
you know, but
right. So you're working with two different dynamics.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, it's interesting what you brought up when you bring up the quick shed, and you instead of talking about the offensive stuff, you're bringing up the defensive side of what they're doing. It's very interesting.
Right.
Because in some ways, if you have the two speedy, very intelligent thinking guards out there, in some ways that causes a new switch up of chaos on the court because Shed and IQ, they can do things defensively in traps and with their quickness that's different with the 2-point guard lineup. And there's on the down low, that's been part of the success of having them on the court together is we're seeing a very interesting defensive synergy with them. And stymieing stuff like that's something that not many people are picking up on because obviously you're going to see, you know, a manual switch to more of a shooting guard with Shed out there as the point guard, and he's more in his natural role. But on the other side of the ball, look at how they were hounding people and get in the passing lane when they're both out there together too.
Right, so. And you know what it allows? It also allows because if you keep Shed as the main point guard in that lineup, and you move quickly over kind of to the 2, he kind of has that 2 role. Then it lessens his responsibility and gives him more freedom on the court.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think it's a brilliant move. You don't do it all the time because it's going to vary based on matchups.
Yeah,
right. But it's a great. You know, let's pull this out of the card. Let's pull this card out open, and we can use this as an option. And I want to encourage Raptors fans. At the beginning of the season, you know, the sky's falling, blah blah blah. I'm going to help you guys out. Raptor fans, listen to me for one quick minute. This is not for you, Lex. And I know.
No, I know.
Your thing. You know
it's all good.
This
it's all
Raptor fans out there. The way you consume basketball, especially if your favorite team. Watch it in 10-game intervals. So judge the team after 10 games. Don't judge it after the first 2 or 3 games. Oh my gosh. Judge it in 10. So after 10 games, do your evaluation. After the 10 games, do another 10, which will be 20.
Yes.
After the 20 games, do a second evaluation of where the team's at. And that will help you not have the skies falling mentality. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. I mean, some people are so bipolar about the Raptors. I mean, some people are on the highest of highs after a win like last night. But, you know, we lose a game, 3 or 4 games in a row at the beginning of the season, and people are just down in the dumps. You know, it's really not good to ride that roller coaster with them emotionally in your life. Just you got to have separation. And the other thing, I love what you're saying. It's like get a 10 days part, infamous saying, get a 10-day part and look at it there. And I think that, you know, just in general, once again, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. And I love like checking in like every 10 games, like you're saying, because the thing is like we're winning right now, but we're not even scratching the surface of how good we can be as we go through the season. And that, you know, we're going to have tougher games against Western teams at some point during the season, like West Coast road trips and playing teams like Denver and Oklahoma City. And those tests, hopefully, when we get to those games, we'll have worked through the East a little bit more and really polished ourselves and got more experience to be revved up to play them even better when we do get to that point in the season.
Right. So, you know what it is also, Lex? I think the Raptors, personally, they probably won't say this publicly, but this is kind of like a revenge tour, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
Because these are the teams that embarrassed us last year.
Yeah.
You know, when we were going through our struggles, these are the teams that ran up the score on us. These are the teams that were like basically showboating against us. So this is like, okay, you did that to us last year. This year we're coming back with more firepower.
Yeah.
We're gonna spank that ass for what you did to us last year. And I love that mentality.
We got some receipts to pay for sure.
Yeah, we definitely got some receipts to pay.
Yeah.
There's one that I'm actually looking forward to because I have some friends and I'm like, I'm really looking forward to the Lakers game.
Yeah.
That's the one I want the ass whipping for.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I'm circling that one on my calendar because of all the games That's the one I remember. That one's still
Well,
in the back of the
the
mind.
way that the refs stole that game from us 2 years ago when Darko went crazy in the press, we talked about it earlier. That game, the complete crap game. That one, it'll be interesting. I don't remember when we're playing them exactly, but
Yeah.
I'll test the water and we'll do the preview that day and we'll see exactly where they are with their chemistry, DeAndre Ayton, LeBron. And everything that's just going on in that current time, because the Laker team that you get on any given night is not the same every night. It
No,
depends.
the foul baiting on that team is because I follow the Lakers too to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And the foul baiting, look, you said something very perfectly. You can't win the way that Luka plays and the type of player that Luka is. You're not going to win with him.
Right.
That's not a winning player. You're absolutely right. Not to take away from his greatness, because I think he's a great. I think he's a great player.
Fantastic offensive player.
He's a great player. But his style of playing is not conducive to winning, in my opinion, because he dribbles the air out of the ball and everything runs through him.
It was interesting because when they were doing that GOAT game with the Raptors and they were flipping through, when they showed Luka was in that game, a bunch of the Raptors said he's great, but he doesn't play any defense, and they just flipped it.
No, yeah, he doesn't play any defense, and everything runs through him. And it's a type of team that, if I was a player on that team, I would hate to play on that team because you don't get a chance. You don't get to touch the ball until it's a grenade shot.
Oh, and I'm sure
shot clock,
with
dump it out to you
with LeBron back and healthy, because I don't think he's actually been playing this year yet.
No, he hasn't.
That's going to make it even more crowded, and like the hierarchy really is going to be Luka, LeBron, and Austin, and then anybody get anything else offensively on that team. Like, I just don't see it.
It's fool's goal. It's really fool's goal.
Yeah.
The way that they're playing right now is fool's goal. A lot of
those guys are going to be their three high usage guys, and they're not necessarily good defenders. Any of those three guys.
None of them are great defenders.
Yeah.
When they're going to get spanked. They're going to get spanked.
And if you're counting on DeAndre Ayton to be your center and to come through for you, you're fucked. I'm just going to say that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. The teams to look out for in the West, in my opinion, of course, OKC.
Yeah,
I mean, OKC
for sure.
I mean, they might actually repeat. I strongly believe there's a strong chance.
They've got a chance, but I think it's so hard to do that. It's the chances of it not happening are pretty strong too. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And
Denver's
for sure.
the second team.
Yeah,
Denver's the second, and you know what? There's a sneaky team that nobody's talking about, and that's San Antonio. Very sneaky team.
Yeah, I don't even know if you could say a team with a 7'5" guy is sneaky.
No, I mean sneaky. In fact, I think they can make it all the way to the.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be kind of interesting. It's not the delay on the Wemby jump is a couple years in, unlike Duncan and Robinson, who had a huge win turn around for them in that franchise the years they came in as rookies. If there's a weird kind of like swing from not making the playoffs like the Spurs didn't last year, all the way to like making it all the way and maybe even winning the championship, like, and that kind of a turnaround, that would be crazy, because that would be like the Jays, I guess.
Right. Absolutely. But I think the Raptors, like I said, the Raptors are doing great.
Yeah.
There's nothing we need.
Yeah.
You know what the
Just
difference
enjoy
is,
it.
Lex, this year than last year? We would go into games hoping that there's a chance that we'll win. Now we go into every game thinking like, hey, we can win this game.
Yeah.
That's the difference I noticed from last year to this year. Last year was, of course, like a rebuilding kind of thing. And we're going to games like, hey, you know what? If they keep it close and it's close to the end, we can sneak it out.
We're just trying to show progress.
Right.
Yeah.
This year, we're going in thinking like there's nobody we face
that
I don't think that we can beat.
Yeah. And when we get Thunder, we'll have to see. We're going to have to see. This will be the ultimate test is when we get the Thunder. And, but I agree with you. I mean, I was like this last year. I was saying this last year. I was saying, we could win every game, but is it realistic that we'll win every game? Now, this year, I was saying we can win every game, and it is realistic that we could win every game.
But you know what? We have a puncher's chance in every game this year.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That's why I'm saying like, I want the test of Oklahoma City. Because I feel like, if we can actually beat them one of the two games this year, that'll be really good faith right there. Really good faith.
And I subscribe to you being I said it at the beginning of the season. Well, I started off and say, oh, maybe they could be top 5, but I moved it up. I moved it up before the season started. I said, you know what? I think they could even be top 3 because of how the East is right now.
They clouded it with this Orlando crap and Atlanta crap, and Detroit is actually for real. We're seeing Detroit at the very top of the Eastern Conference right now. Out of that tier, the 4 teams that were saying this stuff, we were one of them, but they were not talking about us very much. They were more talking about Magic and Hawks because of their off seasons. But everybody slept on Ingram getting added to us. And then, Detroit is actually doing better this year. I'm very proud of them. But I feel like they really clouded the area with Atlanta and Orlando being better than they're actually going to be. And part of it is Trae Young's out, and that hurt Atlanta. But I think Orlando was always going to be shitty this year. And, obviously the fall from grace of the Celtics and the Pacers because of their injuries. Milwaukee is not as good as they were last year. There's a lot of it's just wide open. It's like a running back getting a wide open field to run down and get a touchdown for us and what's looking like with the Eastern Conference. So,
and this is the last thing I touch on before I go because I got to run. Let's touch on Brandon Ingram. Brandon, I will say this about Brandon. I nothing against Brandon. Brandon is a great player, but I'm going to give some critiques.
Sure.
The one thing I love about Brandon is he doesn't force his offense.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he's struggling, he's not one of those guys that thinks like, "Hey, you know what? I got to get up the next shot or something." Yeah. Like that. He's functioning within the system, which is great. The one thing that I wish he would do more, and I think this will come in time. I think Darko's bringing this out of him, is that his lateral quickness needs to be worked on. I mean, guys can blow by him way too easy at the perimeter, and I think he needs to work on his defense a little bit just to get that lateral quickness down pat, because I notice sometimes that I'm like, damn, these guys are just like, pylons.
Okay.
Like but everything else is great with Brandon. I love the fact that he's not forcing anything.
Yeah.
Maybe I think as the season goes on and he becomes more comfortable with the team, I think he has a level to reach to himself.
Oh yeah,
I think we're just scratching the surface of what he can do.
That's what he said. That's what he said after the game against Brooklyn. Is he hasn't had his explosiveness back yet, and that's going to be a whole other level of problems for other people. But I agree, there are some things defensively he could still improve, but I think that he's on the right kind of path. The thing for me is this is a crazy thing. We've added him. And he's been an instant help in winning, and he's been very good, but he really hasn't really gotten used to playing with the Raptors completely yet.
That's true.
And he has a learning curve to be feeling more ingrained with them and having better synergy with them as the season goes on. He's going to get better partly because he's going to know his team better. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Man, Infamous, what a joy, man.
This is the final thing. I know I said one more thing, but this is the final thing.
Sure.
Be sure of this. I'm going to give you a theory, and tell me if you can follow this.
Okay.
A theory why IQ was struggling at the beginning of the season. If you're a basketball player, you know this.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, Lex, you were a basketball player. You played, and you know this. People need to understand, when you play basketball, this has happened to me personally, when you put on muscle during the off season and you put on weight and muscle, it affects your shooting. It takes a while for your muscles and your body to adapt to your new form of shooting, because it throws you off a little bit when you put on, because quickly put on muscle and you put on strength.
For sure.
That will I think what we're seeing right now, and it's part of it is a slump, of course. Any guy that's through the off season, it's even happening with
Walter.
Jacoby. Walter, same thing. It's just going to take time.
Grady had it too last year.
Catch up. Right.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
About that theory?
I think that's true. I think that there's a good part of it. I think that that's contributed to it. But I think one of the main things is really that Yak was absent. That he really gets so much off. Like they together off each other. They are so synergetic that they really boost both each other up. Like in some ways, IQ needed Yak for the screens and just the kind of like ability to work with. And then Yak needed IQ also to be like some of the things he's been doing in the last year or so, playing with IQ. He's played way better on offense in different ways, partly because of IQ. So I feel like that synergy between those two guys was important. And when Yak was out, that really hurt quickly. But I definitely agree with you also, because Emmanuel out of the Raptors, he's such a little skinny guy most of his life. And, he did really hit the weights hard this summer. And I agree with you exactly. I think that, adding weight muscle can alter your shot, and there's an adjustment period. And that's
it's
part
happened
of it.
to me. It's happened to me personally. So
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
But thank you for your time, Lex.
Thank you,
It's been a
Infamous.
pleasure talking to you. I like your channel because you are a channel of, I may not agree with everything, but you're a channel of sanity.
I appreciate
Some of these
that.
channels out here that claim to be Raptors channels, I'm just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
sure I'm like that sometimes, but I'm glad that majority of the time you're like, okay, this is a voice of reason in the middle of
Yeah, it's
Raptors.
a voice of reason.
Yeah.
Exactly. Some of these guys, what they're saying sometimes, I'm like, are you actually watching the games? What are you talking about?
Once again, sometimes when I hear people talk about the Raptors, it's not about the Raptors what they're talking about. They're telling me more about themselves.
That's a good point.
Yeah. All right,
It's been a
Infamous.
pleasure talking to you.
I hope you have a
great day.
fantastic weekend, and let's go Raptors. Let's hold our heads up high, Raptors Nation. We're kicking ass. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
All right. Good to talk to Infamous today, man. Awesome to get a call. And guys, if you have the phone number, you can call me and espouse your opinions on the air if you have the number. That's right. All right, let me see where we are with the chat here. Raptors Champs is here. Good to see Raptors Champs. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Good morning to Raptors Champs. That's right. We looking like champions from last night. Shaq Lindsay saying, I always knew we would be good, but to be good this soon. Damn, imagine how good we will be in the second half of the season. God willing, with very few injuries and continued growth and just continued excellence and way more wins, we keep building momentum and keep learning. In some ways, it's better to learn while winning than losing a lot and learning that way. That's the thing. These guys, if they have the right attitude and they don't get all cocky and like, oh, wow, we've won 6 out of 7. If they're very businesslike and just act like this is how it's supposed to be, like Scott was saying in the locker room after the game last night, they can carry success and make it more consistent more and more, because in some ways they don't need to be acting like, wow, we're winning all of a sudden. They need to be acting like, yeah, we expect to win and we should win most of the time. And that's where they're at with this. I'm telling you right now, this is where they're at right now. It's awesome, man. Shaq Lindsay saying this is no fluke. We're building something special, even down to the G League. Yeah, the G League team is insane. If you have not watched the Raptors 905 yet this season, you need to watch them tonight, because this team right here is doing something this season with 30-point routes in their first 3 games of the season so far. They're a joy to watch. They play like an actual team, which is rare in the G League. That's part of their success. Is most of the G League teams are a collection of guys that are on the fringe of the NBA that are really selfish because they're really trying to make the NBA. But Coach Andrew Jones and the Raptors 905 have the 905 playing all for one for all, win for all, and they're looking good as a collective. And there's no selfish egos that are trying to do things that are selfish on this team. They're actually playing like a team. And that's why in some ways they're getting the results that they're getting so far this early G League season. So, yeah, you want to see them tonight, 7:30, Westchester Knicks, YouTube on in Canada for free. You can be in there and watch the game with the superfan, Monique Lawrence, and myself. She will be there also, I'm sure. That's right. Let's go. That's right. It's no fluke. It's coming from the bottom up. That's right. Randolph is here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Blessing, beloved Raptor Freaks family. What has life given to you as you entered this beautiful day? Invest it wisely in yourself and others. You will find joy and contentment at the end of the day. Last night I watched the game with Adriana. She came over and watched the game with me last night, and she's such a good luck charm. In some ways, we won this game last night, which is a huge game. We also won another very important game. I think she came over for the Milwaukee game when we beat Giannis and them on that Friday night. In some ways, we win when she's around me, and I love that. I feel so grateful for her in some ways. Her and I are not exactly where I would like us to be, but in some ways, I really do appreciate having her in my life. So she's a blessing to me. That's what I'll say today. And the ability to drive her home last night in the middle of the night and drive through the green belt of Ontario and the beautiful night and feel so good about the Raptors winning. That's just a joy and a simple pleasure. And I had to take a moment last night when I was driving back and just be feeling joy and just be like, wow, the Raptors are really here like this, beating the Cavs tonight. And I just had a very nice evening with a very special person to me. So it's just you know what? I'm counting my blessings on that. How about that? How about that? I appreciate you, Randolph, because in some ways you guys look for the things that are blessings in life, whether it's a person in your life, whether it's something that happened in your life, like the Raptors are a badass team. Blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families. That's right, man. Joy and contentment can be found if you try and find it. That's right. That's what I tell those critiquers. Shaq Lindsay's saying we have talent up and down the roster. We even have guys in the G League who probably could get some run. Yeah, Julian Reese is looking like a keeper. Let's not forget, we also have all our draft picks for an organization that drafts really well. Yeah, we're set up pretty good. And there's more and more overtures about Rodgers and the ownership that they are ready to kick some major ass in the sports that they're involved in, whether it is the NHL and the Maple Leafs, whether it is the MLB and Vlad Guerrero and the Blue Jays, and whether it is the Raptors in the NBA. That, Ed Rodgers the third may actually be going all out to try and win stuff finally, and that he is going to be supportive of being a championship city over and over again. So I hope that this is true. There's a lot of overtures to this. I think that I've even heard Michael Grange say that Rodgers is ready to win and do all this stuff. He's not going to get in the way. So I like this. I like this. And Bobby Webster's a capable hand to guide the ship. And we have a lot of good things set up for us. And yeah, the draft pick stuff is great. The draft pick stuff is great for sure. Neil's saying we good, but we can be better. We're only 12 games in. It's a long season where starters and bench can tighten up. Yeah. Yeah, there's stuff we can improve on. Maybe less ticky-tack fouls. We got to improve our young players individually as time goes on. Colin Murray-Boyles has to learn the NBA more and more in his rookie season. The second-year guys from last year have to continue to improve. Scottie Barnes has to find a level of consistency to do what he did last night on a nightly basis. There's always places where our guys can get better, and including our coach, too. He can get better, too. Watch. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Shaq Lindsay saying makes us contenders for the present and the future. I believe that. I don't need no ESPN rankings of future stuff like this and bullshit like that, saying this is the future core and this and this. They're going to overlook us, and they're not going to talk about us. And in some ways, that's bullshit. And they can go ahead and do that, man. They can go ahead and do that. Nakawana Naka's here. Nice win yesterday. Good to see you back in the chat again, man. Thanks for the subscription. Let's see. Wayne's saying this. Great point on Mobley. A few players I really like their professionalism. Donovan Mitchell, Mobley, Jared Allen, Jaylen Brown. They play and no showboating on the court and no yapping off the court. Yeah, I don't know if Mitchell's in that category for me because he's kind of he's a little showboaty and he can talk trash and he gets a little cocky. He makes faces at people sometimes. He was very rude to Pascal Siakam at All-Star Weekend once. Yeah, let's just put it that way. But yeah, those other guys, Allen's a very good guy. Mobley is too. They're humble. I think that's the right word. They're humble, but they're good. But I wouldn't put Donovan in that list. I wouldn't put him there. Trey Henry saying, pause on the Lowry butts, Lex. Maybe I shouldn't say that about a woman, I guess. The BBL, is that not a good way to scout a WNBA prospect, is to say she's got the Lowry butt? Maybe I shouldn't say that. That's a compliment. That's not a bad thing. Seriously. That is not a bad thing. I mean, I don't know. See, this is one thing I'm going to say. Look, I say a lot of outlandish shit. I don't have a filter. I'm going straight from my brain out my mouth. And what I'm saying, I do want to be checked. If there is a pause, if there's a say, no, Lex, you can't do that. Especially from female Raptor freaks that are on here, especially when it comes to WNBA. I need to be taught. I'm not one of these anti-woke people that think, oh, no, this is you. How dare you be politically correct to me and tell me how I should be? No, I want to be better because honestly, I'm a mature man who's confident in my masculinity that I'm not mad at somebody who tells me you shouldn't say that because that's insulting or demeaning to a group or a person. I think that's the biggest problem with anti-woke people is that they just don't want to respect other people is basically what their problem is. I want to respect other people. So if I'm saying anything that's out of pocket about gender or women or the WNBA, I want to be called out for it on this channel. So if it's wrong for me to say that the Latson, the point guard that I scouted earlier has a Kyle Lowry butt. Please tell me that. Please tell me. Because I mean, in some ways, this is entertainment and it's all out of love and positivity. It's not a detriment or an insult to her. In some ways, that butt is very useful for durability in a playing career. Let's just put it that way. We know this in Toronto. We know our growth. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, pause on that. Pause on that. Yeah, no Kyle Lowry butt comparisons for WNBA prospects. Okay. I can take this rule if that's true. I thought it was a compliment. Let's see. Kaloy saying this. Morning, Lex and fellow freaks. It feels like our boys are finally growing up. Look at that. All growed up. Let's see. Santino's getting growed up too, I'll bet. Little Santino growing up. Yeah, I love it, man. It's awesome to see. And Darko's awesome too. We love Darko. That's right. Belt boys, we're giving out beatings. Uh-oh. That's what he's saying. He's saying, come and get in line. You got to lean over the knee. Wow. Is that what's going on, Seymour? S&M. Oh, yikes. Shaq Lindsay saying too many chiefs in the kitchen create a world-renowned restaurant. That's a weird one, man. That's not what I thought you were going to say. Too many chefs in the kitchen makes a world-renowned restaurant. I love that. That's a weird one. That's a dunk. That is a weird dunk. It's in a roundabout way a very funny joke. Shaq Lindsay, you're going on the dunk chart for that. 138 makes a world-renowned Michelin kitchen. It makes a Gordon Ramsay Hell's Kitchen. That's right. Let's see. Dunk for that. Yeah, dunk for Sheriff too. All right, I'll give it a dunk to Seymour too. Seymour's funny. He's talking about corporal punishment, though. He's talking about taking the belt to people. But yeah, we'll give him a dunk, Kaz. We'll do that. All right, let me see. Where's Seymour? Seymour's at 255 now. I think he is the leader. Where's Kareem? Where's Kareem at this point? We need to check this because this is close. 255 to 260. So he's got you by 5 right now, Seymour. He's got you by 5 right now on the dunk chart right now. Yeah, let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying we have great chemistry and leadership from IQ, RJ, Scottie, Jakob, and Shed. Yeah, I mean, RJ, listen, this is the great thing. It's like, who's going to be able to do stuff? If people can't do stuff, somebody else can do stuff. And there's somebody to do stuff no matter what, I feel like. Brandon and RJ are not going to get what they get because in some ways the other team is playing for them, is designing the defense for them. Well, Scottie and IQ will step up and get the points instead. I love that. There's nothing wrong with any of that. That's right. Seymour's saying I'm on 1.5 and I'm 25 minutes behind. Busy morning here. Busy in the warehouse, huh? Busy in the warehouse. Yeah, Shed. Yep. Big ups the whole chat. Roll with the positive energy through the weekend, y'all. Yeah. There's no reason to be upset if you're a Raptors fan. Seriously. I'm looking at this calendar, right? And the Raptors are 5-1 in November. And the 905 are 3-0. So we are 8-1 for the month, guys, as both teams. We've won 8 games and only lost once to Nick Nurse in Philadelphia in a back-to-back, which was a scheduled loss. What is to be happy about, Raptors fans? We're 8-1 in the month of November for both teams. And we're going to get the 9th win tonight when they beat the Westchester Knicks in New York. That's right. That's what's happening. That's right. Get with the program. Get sunshine, happy, Hi, let's smile. Let's go. Let's do that. Seymour saying, I hope you're better now, Kaloy. Have a teaspoon of honey. It works. Yeah, honey's good for you. Honey's that natural preservative food, man. Honey is a natural, important building block of all foods. That's right. Champ. Kaloy saying this. That's so true, Lex. I try watching Penn share, but then he goes off on someone that Scottie passed and missed a shot saying you costed Scottie an assist. That was whack. He only cares about Scottie. He doesn't care about the Toronto Raptors, and that's been evident for years now. And once again, I tell Robert, if we went and met Scott and we sat down at a table, the three of us, he'd probably cuss you out, and he'd probably be like, Raptors freak, thank you for being there for me. Seriously. In some ways, I think Scott listens to me to a degree because some of the stuff I've been saying he's doing. There was a period of time this summer and leading into the season where I said, Scott, concentrate on rebounds and defense. And we'll be good. We'll win a lot if you do that. And that's what he's doing right now. I don't know what Robert's telling him to do over there. Scottie, score all the points. Get all the assists. Get triple doubles. Be selfish. Just care about yourself. No, I'm saying, Scottie, you want to sacrifice for your team, be the badass rebounding and defensive player you can, and you will win a lot of games in this league. That's what Tim Duncan did. That's what Tim Duncan did. And you could do it like Tim Duncan. So in some ways, I don't know. They got ear to the ground. Somebody said, I trust the Raptor streak because his heart and his passion for the team is in the right place. So I know that what he's saying, if he's being critical or if he's saying stuff like that, he has the best intentions. And he's only saying it because he wants us to get better. Now, I don't know what helps when Robert Pensera bashes a Raptor teammate of Scottie's because he missed a shot and to give him an assist. That sounds very selfish and very low IQ as a basketball expert, Robert Pensera, is what I say about that. Yeah, that's pretty whack. Pretty whack. Isaac's here. Isaac's so funny, man. Isaac, you're so fucking funny, man. You're just funny, bro. Scottie Barnes had that game with most field goals made, most field goals taken, most rebounds, most defensive rebounds, most assists, most blocks, most best plus minus, with 0 fouls and 28 points, all on the road. Who is the defensive player of the year? Yeah, I guess you could say he shut down the defensive player of the year to only get 7 points. Let's go look at the team stats and see where the Raptors out-competed the Cavaliers. Well, one of them was we shot better than them. We shot 56%. And if the Cavs are supposed to be such a good defensive team with the defensive player of the year and Jared Allen, then why the hell did we shoot 56%? That's great, man. That's great. Yeah, they got more shots than us. They got 3 more field goal attempts, but we made 8 more shots made than them. Way, way better shooting. We also beat them at 3. We shot 39% from 3, and the threes were awesome. I love being a better three-point shooting team. That we can honestly say now, the Raptors are the best three-point shooting team they've been in years right now. And that's such a valuable change in how we are, honestly, because we've been a bad three-point shooting team for a while until now. And we are a good three-point shooting team now. And that's trouble for the rest of the league. In some ways, that's part of the reason why we're going to be harder to beat from now on, is because they used to be able to outshoot us from 3, and we just struggle from 3. That's not the case anymore. The Raptors have good three-point shooting all of a sudden, and we ain't fucking around. It's crazy, the free throws. Like I said, Donovan Mitchell got the same amount of free throw attempts as us, 17. We did shoot 94% from the line, which is fantastic. We only missed 1 free throw out of all our guys last night. Fantastic job, Raptors. Very, very professional. We were +6 on the rebounds, 43-37. There were a bit too many offensive rebounds for the Cavs. This is one of the areas where we could get better, is to continue to box out and limit second chance opportunities for the other team through offensive rebounds. So we still need to clean that up a bit better. Assist to turnover ratios for the games last night. 37-14 is the Raptors assist to turnover ratio. That's an over of 2-1. 37-14. That's pretty good. Meanwhile, the other team, 26-12. So they're about 2-1 also. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let's see. Also, points in the paint, 60-54. So we beat Mobley and Allen in the paint, 60-54, Jakob and Scottie. That's right. Fast break points, huge. 28 fast break points. Raptors were moving it. Like Neil said, tire them out. And meanwhile, the Cavs only had 6 fast break points. So we just kind of beat them in all kinds of different categories. Shot way better than them, out-rebounded them, beat them in the points to paint, ran them off the court with fast break. Yeah. And it didn't matter that you gave Donovan the same amount of free throws as the whole entire Raptors team, Josh Tibbin. It didn't fucking matter. It didn't matter. That's right. Kaz saying, yeah, I get behind when I get good to stop for delivery. Then I put it on 1.5 or 2.5. Oh, see, he's on his route. He's driving around with me on in the truck. And when he gets out to take something to somebody, he has to turn it off and he pauses it. And then he tries to catch up. Okay, I get it. Well, maybe you guys will be caught up by the time I get to this box, because I'm going to need y'all to guess. Kaloy saying, oh, man, Scottie looked like magic a couple times last night. I was like having flashbacks with him going on fast breaks, full burst, and then a magical pass. I like when he keeps it to himself and he just takes it all the way there. And that really is when he looks like Antetokounmpo, is when he just keeps it himself. And there may be somebody trying to stop him, but they can't, because he's too fast, too long, and too strong. And they can't stop him. It's awesome. Shaq Lindsay saying the Raptors pick up where the Blue Jays left off. Leafs not so much. Don't give up, Leafs fans. It's still early. I've heard the Leafs are not off to the best start so far. I've heard that. I don't know. I'm not paying attention to them. Shaq Lindsay saying jump on the bandwagon and join the Raptors. Yeah, just leave your toxic at the door, though. and understand that it's a sunshine and rainbows in Raptors land, and we are positive, and we're aiming high, and we're talking about success. We're not talking about failure. We're not talking about the bad stuff. If there are fans that are like that, they're depressed, and maybe they need better help. Call better help and get help. Talk to someone. Maybe you'll be happier then. That's right. Good move, Lindor. Good move. Yeah, they cut out the U.S., and now you get these straight from Switzerland. Yeah. So, yeah, you ain't getting no U.S. money from exporting this chocolate tea here. That's right. No more. That's right. Lex waxing cookies and cream is hilarious. Yeah, man. You want me to eat another one? Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. It's been a treat. This week has been a treat. And boy, I want more treats. Cookies and cream, Lindor chocolates. Come on now. Come on now. What's not the like? What's not the like? Oh my gosh. The flavor. I mean, it's that white chocolate with the cookie of the Oreo cookie kind. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. That's right. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying it's funny listening to Fan 590 or 10:50 a.m. have nothing to say about their prized possession, the Leafs, and reluctantly have had to talk about our Raptors. Hilarious. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe they don't want to talk about them because they don't want to shine a light on what's going on with them. And, I don't know. Either way, we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. That's right. That's right. We'll take it. Isaac saying effective defense requires court awareness, trust, and a need to cooperate with others. Some folks hyping only offense likely struggle in life working with other people, or they're just Leaf fans. This is hilarious. Isaac's being funny, man. Isaac's being funny. No, defense is a collaborative, and people that are very selfish and individualistic, maybe they just can't understand defense, and that may be part of the problem. Yeah, I got you on that. Collaborative effort, collaboration, people that like to work in community and not just be assholes on their own. 137 for Isaac Campbell on that. Whoa, I gave him an extra 3. That was 1337 for a second. No, 137 for Isaac on the dunk chart. Kaloy's saying this, Jamal Shead should be an example for all the young hoopers out there. Playing right will get you in the NBA. This is the thing. Jamal, he could be so many different other players in the league right now. He's very much tailoring himself to be what the Raptors need right now. If he was on the Charlotte Hornets, Jamal could have a bigger role. He could be doing all kinds of other stuff. No, he's doing the stuff that he knows is the best for us. And in some ways, he said it himself. He's keeping it simple. Keep it simple. In some ways, for him to be the effective pro, the one that's so attractive to the rest of the league, he's keeping it simple. There doesn't have to be anything flashy. He could concentrate on just getting assists and not even try and score himself, and he'd look good out there because he has the baseline of the dogged defense that he does, getting people 8-second violations because they didn't cross over halfway, whether he's getting offensive charges from coming around screens because people stuck their leg out. There's all kinds of little things he's doing that are helpful to the team. They're not the flashiest. And in some ways, if he had the mentality of those casual fans we're talking about that have an overimportance of offense, they'd say Jamal Shead's a loser. He's not a loser. He's the epitome of a winner. And his track record and his career in college and the way he plays in the NBA shows this, is what I'm saying right here. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Shaq Lindsay saying revenge. Where is Tristan Thompson? Where is he? Damn it. I think he's retired. Yeah, he's not on a team right now. I think that Tristan is on the outside, not on a team. He's not on Cleveland. We didn't see him with Cleveland last night. And that's who he was on last year, right? So I think he's done. I don't think you're going to get that revenge against Tristan. Revenge is father time. And the fact that Tristan has to sit at home. That's the revenge right there. That's it right there. Maybe that's why he had to do that out-of-pocket thing. Because he's like, man, this is going to be my last time ever playing at Scotiabank Arena. I better make a knucklehead of myself right at the end here. That may be why he did it. Who knows why he did it. It could be that, man. Yeah, Infamous for the win. That was awesome to hear from Infamous. Yeah, let me give the dunk to Infamous for calling in today. You're at Colin Murray Boyle's 12 now, Infamous. Awesome, man. I love that. Chris Kim saying, how about them Raps? Easy guaranteed win for the next game. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I know, Criskin, you like to do predictions. The great Criscom is like the great Criskin. He's a prediction guy. But I will say this, Criscom, we can't get ahead of ourselves or take anybody lightly. We have to respect this team, especially with a GOAT like Pascal Siakam in the lineup. We can't just say, well, their record is this, and we're just going to be easy. No, Rick Carlisle is somebody you better respect and better be a little bit afraid of. So we can't take this lightly, even though the record is shitty. This is how we continue to win, is we take everything very seriously. And in some ways, there's no easy wins in the NBA, even if it's Brooklyn or Indiana. So we need to take this very seriously. And in some ways, I think we will win, but I don't want to take it. I don't want to take them lightly. Let's just put it that way. That's right. I'll take wins over everything, but I'm still feeling a way off Jameson's perfect game, not also guaranteeing court side time. Well, I've gone over this pretty extensively in the week or so since this happened. The first game against Cleveland, Jameson was the hero, and he went 7 for 7 and played a perfect game. And he's done important things for us. He's been out there. He's been utilized. He's made some shots. He's made steals. But in some ways, if you guys thought he was just automatically almost a starter because he had such a good game, that's silly. Seriously. The thing about Jameson is, like, in some ways, if you overuse him, once again, you can make him go into a rut and not be hitting so well. In some ways, it's better for us to play Jacoby and Grady to get them built up with confidence and get them hitting too. Because Jameson's hitting. He's fine. In some ways, he doesn't need the time. And it's not like Jameson's going to get cold. We can just break in case emergency. So, I mean, I love the way they're utilizing him. I think that everybody I get why you think that just logically he should be getting more time because of that performance. But this is the NBA, and that doesn't mean that you just logically get that. In some ways, the threat of him as a weapon is utilized by Darko very smartly right now. In some ways, it's almost like Jaws, the movie. You don't see the shark, right? But you're scared of him, right? The shark. Spielberg did not show the shark in Jaws until like near the end where he's biting the boat, right? Well, the fear of him is what that movie was built on, Jaws, that great, great movie by Steven Spielberg. Well, the fear of Jameson is something that precedes him, and it doesn't necessarily have to come to fruition that we actually see him. In some ways, when we put the Battle Dick formation out there and the floor is so beautifully spread wide open, it just opens right up. That shot may not get to Jameson's corner. It may go to Grady's corner, and he may hit the three in the spacing of all that. Either way, Jameson battle, he's a potent threat and weapon. And in some ways, we don't want to water it down by overusing it. It's kind of what I would say. You blunt a knife by cutting too much. You want to keep that knife sharp. Keep it in the cupboard. And when you really need that knife to cut something, you go get it then. That's what I say. You don't want to just use them just willy-nilly in games like regularly when they're not, like, in some ways you want games where we're behind to put him in and have the effect that he can have. If we're winning, we're up like we were yesterday. We were in Brooklyn too, where we're winning from the second quarter all the way through the end of the game. In some ways, the need for Jameson and what he does so specifically is not necessarily there. So it's about Darko utilizing his players at the best times to the best of their ability for what we need at that time. And there hasn't been the situations that we had that last game in Cleveland where Jameson was a hero and that we've needed him like that. We've needed just the threat of him being out there changes stuff, and it allows RJ and Brandon to get better shots. Just the threat. So it's an interesting thing. In some ways, I don't want to dull that blade. I don't want to overuse it so that it's dulled. We want to keep them nice and sharp and ready to use at a moment's notice. Breaking in case emergency. The specialist. That's right. Kaloy saying this. So many doubted the BI trade. Now we see the best defenders on BI. Last night was Hunter. Scottie and RJ reap the benefits. Yeah. Scottie last night for sure. Scottie's awakening as a leader. He's growing and maturing as a leader. He's more confident, and we're seeing the results with it. And that'll just snowball into itself. Watch. That'll just snowball into itself. Trevor's saying we have to give Scottie trainer his flowers. Yeah, Brian Macon, thank you, sir, for the work that you and Scottie did in South Florida this summer. And Scottie on your three-point shot, and also the stuff that the Raptors training staff and Darko and the strength people, everything they do with the program they set up for him for the summer. With Brian Macon, big, huge thank you to Brian Macon for sure. All right, let me check my tabs real quick as we move through the stream. Let's see. Let's do Instagram. Jared Roden is in France, of course, right? Because he's playing in Paris now. And this is really interesting. He's with his brother. This is so weird, man. He got to finally link up with his little brother. And it's kind of crazy from Paris. It's a crazy story, y'all. He moved to America at 14 for a short while. Jared taught him English and the ways of the States. And then fast forward 10 years later, he's showing me around his city in Paris and teaching me French finally. And I think this is legitimately Jared Rhoden's little brother, guys. Is by blood. So that's kind of cool that Jared Rhoden has come full circle with his French half brother. And his French half brother is showing him around in Paris right now. We love you, Jared Rhoden. Only great success for you in your European section of your career, man. Only great success for you. Teresa Resch has got something up on her Instagram about the key figures in her franchise with them. And it's Monica Wright-Rogers, Sandy Brondello, Serena Williams, and Lily Singh. Yeah, Teresa Resch is number 25, I think, on some sort of most influential women in sports list, I guess. That's interesting. Manuel Quickly saying, he's got a post, don't sleep on Emmanuel Quickly for his fits coming in the game, what he's wearing in the game. He's usually got a bag. He's a bag man. But don't sleep on Emmanuel for his fits, league fits. That's right. That's what they're saying there. Let's see what else he's got. He's got the score from last night and him with the call 5. That's right. That's what they're calling it, the call 5. And Scottie's line right there. He's proud of his teammate, Scottie Barnes. He put him on blast. There's a Mamu with the score against the Cavs last night. Very cool stuff. He had a hard time picking the best players because he's played with Wemby and Giannis, and he had to show some love for both those guys as friends of his in the GOAT clip from TSN yesterday. Yeah, there's where Mamu's plays where he went coast to coast and scored that layup. That was awesome. Kenny Atkinson was not happy that they weren't stopping us. He really wasn't. Really wasn't. And a lot of Cavs fans are saying that Larry Nance Jr. is washed, is what they're saying today. Jamal Shed with the score from last night on his Instagram, and the ball movement is crazy. And what happened with moving the ball around and finding our shots. Very good stuff. Jamal, you're awesome. Keep going. RJ Barrett, yeah, he didn't have the best game, but he's really loving his team. And that pass he got to Scott where he reverse jammed and fell over Sam Merrill. Hilarious. Scottie with the no-look dime was awesome to Jakob. He said that too. He's like, I wanted to find Yak. He was right there, and I could find him, and he's such a bucket if I get him the ball. So, yeah, Yak and Scottie, really good dynamic between the two of them, whether it's on defense or passing and on offense. Really good, yeah. Let's see, yeah, that bounce pass that Jamal had to Scottie in the lane, that was pretty cool too. He's got that on his Instagram. Grady Dick with a picture of him before the game. Jameson Battle is posted something. He's on a show called The Ride, and he's talking about cycles. So I think he's selling like bicycles or a stationary bike for exercise or something. I don't know. Jameson's got an endorsement with The Ride. It's Epic Cycles. I don't know what it is exactly. There's Jacoby with the win from last night. Matt Devlin before the game talking about making an intro before an NBA broadcast, how you write it or something. I don't know what's going on there exactly. Let's see who else we got. AJ Lawson has got a picture of him. He's going to be playing tonight. I hope y'all will watch him play the Westchester Knicks. Jonathan Mobo is putting Elijah Martin on blast as his 905 teammates. There's a cheesy smile from Jameson coming in the game for Jonathan's thing. There's Elijah posting the picture of himself on his Instagram. Let's see. Is there anything else a note that I should bring up on here? I don't think so. Yeah, let's just go ahead and finish them up. There's Lindsey Dunn interviewing AJ Lawson from the other day. Words of wisdom from Chris Boucher. Surround yourself with people who pray for you behind your back. I like that. That's good stuff. Yeah, there's one clip here with Chris and shoot around before the game, and one of the other Celtics is like swatting his hand. It's like kind of a dickish move. Like, I wonder if he actually likes that guy for why he did that. But he's like, Chris is just trying to get warm-up shots, and this dude's like standing next to him, hitting at him like this. Chris hits the shot. Like, I don't think Raptors ever did that shit to you, Chris. That's kind of annoying. I wonder if he likes his teammates in Boston as much as he liked his teammates in Toronto. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. There's Lily Singh on the phone with the mascot. Come on, just show us who the mascot is, Toronto Tempo. Who is the mascot? And let's see. Is that it? Yeah, there's Coach Andrew Jones has got the game hype for tonight. There's Olivier Sarr on the picture for the 9:05 game tonight. So there's your Instagram stories right there. Raptors Reddit, dare I look at you? How good is this team is what somebody's saying. First place. I don't know if it's first, but top 3. They'll say that. NBA Paint has got the Raptors walking the dog of the Cavs. That's interesting. Yeah, they're putting the Raptors' faces on anime superstars like Naruto and shit like that, Dragon Ball Z shit, because they're so proud of them. So I guess this is pretty good. Now they're saying instead of getting Anthony Davis for the Raptors, let's get Sabonis. They want to get Domantas Sabonis to the Raptors all of a sudden. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, we'll keep moving. There's enough of that stuff. Let's see. Where am I also? All right, let's do that. We'll do that next. The classic card, and we'll get out of here. I guess I am at almost 3 hours. Let's see. Let me finish up the comments real quick. Can Scottie just be our center on Team Canada? Asking for 41 million friends. A fan can dream. You know, I don't know if Scottie would play for us or Jamaica, but I think he's going to play for USA. He'll play for USA someday. But if he doesn't, we'd love to have him on Team Canada. But I don't know. I think he'd go to Jamaica before us, unfortunately. If it was saying Jamal is our TJ McConnell, I would say he's better than TJ. There's more athleticism and skill than TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell can't jump. Jamal Shead can dunk. And also, I think TJ McConnell is not as strong as Jamal Shead. I know y'all, when you were talking about that point guard lineup with Lowry and Van Vliet, man, Van Vliet is so strong. He makes up for his quickness by being so strong. That's in some ways it. All right, here's the card of the day. Classic card of the day, guys. I know there's 2 guys on this card, but I will tell you the king is the card. It's not the guy whose face is covered. So if you can name that king in this classic card, you will get the Raptor Freak trivia points for this one today. Jim Jackson? No, that's not Jim Jackson. This guy's more of a forward, Isaac. Jim Jackson was a guard, forward. This guy's a forward center, actually. The guy, number 31 for the Kings right here. I'm not sure who that is. He's trying to block. That could be Popeye Jones. No, Corliss Williamson's a good guess. It's the right team, but it's not Corliss. This guy's way taller than Corliss. This guy's somebody that may be forgotten. This is going to be a big-time points because people may not remember this dude. I'll put him up real close. Like, who is that, guys? Who is this classic king from back in the day? Classic card of the day. Who is our card of the day? It's an old card. We actually got a classic one today. Yeah, let me see. Should I give you some clues on the name? Well, his first name is the same first name as one of our coaches of the year in the Raptors history. We'll say that. His first name is the same first name as one of the coaches of the year in the Raptors history. We have 3 coaches of the year. Figure out which one of those 3 coaches and figure out their name from there. That's right. His name is the same. It's not spelled the same, but it is the same first name as one of our 3 Raptor coaches of the year. Nick Anderson? No, it's not Nick Anderson. It's not Nick Anderson. Remember, this is a forward center. This is a forward center, not a guard forward. Yeah, it's not Nick Anderson. It's not the right coach of the year. Let's say that. That'll make it easier for you. So now you got it narrowed down to 2 of the coaches of the year. It could be his first name. Yeah, I'd say his last name is something that maybe, a charity or a cause, it's, what is that? What is that when they raise money for people? I don't know. Maybe I said that too easy. I don't know. You get the first name and the last name, you can figure it out. I guess another thing I could say is like his last name is just similar to kind of a roadway that's over water. If that makes any sense. I know in Florida we know about these, but maybe people don't know about them up here. I don't know. I think we're stalling out here because we're not getting any more guesses other than Isaac. Did somebody else guess underneath? I just don't see it. All right. First name is a Raptors coach of the year. Second name is a roadway on near water, and it may be a roadway that's over water on a land bridge that goes out to an island. Is what we could call it. Dwayne Bridges. That's pretty good. It is Dwayne. His first name is Dwayne, but it's not Bridges. I guess, like I said, a charity or what is that they do to help people or get money online? They have a what is it called? You know what I'm talking about. They set up a page and say, "Help my friend make this money for their surgery." You know, there's Dwayne Ferry. No, it's not Ferry. Man, this is tough. This is tough. I kind of said his last name already. I didn't mean to. It's like a synonym for charity or for something that you want to help. Like, Isaac, in your life, you do a lot of things to help the blank with the NDP. Funds. No, it's not fund. Dwayne Fund. No, this is tough, man. We're slugged easy. He might be able to recognize him by the look of him right there. Yeah, I think that's Hubert Davis he's trying to block there. I'm pretty sure Fundy, Dwayne Fundy. No, his last name has 2 words in it, and one of them is like a charity, is a synonym for charity, and then the last one is if you're healthy. Healthy. So you could break it down in 2 ways. Dwayne saved democracy. Saved democracy. That's an interesting last name. I don't think I've ever heard anyone with that last name before. Save democracy. That's not right. No, it's not right. Man, this is tough. This is tough. Do you know what a road in the Gulf of Mexico that goes to an island is called? If you break it down in half, it's a charity plus healthy is his last name. Dwayne, charity plus healthy. That should give you guys the answer. Yeah, this is crazy. We're really taking time here. It's tough. It's tough. Save democracy. Should I just call it? Maybe I'll give you guys another 30 seconds. Isaac's the only one trying. There's some of y'all are still here. We're just going to drag this stream down to the end. Maybe I need to eat a third Lindor chocolate. Blood sugar's crashing. Who is that? Who is that number 31? Does somebody want to Google it? At this point, I might tell y'all. Y'all go ahead and Google Kings number 31 if you want to really figure out who this is. It says nobody's getting it. Oh my gosh. Maybe I can show the back of it with just his face. Who is that, y'all? Who is that? Yeah, see, you're close. A causeway is the way that you go through the road through the water. It's a causeway. That's exactly what I was looking for, but that's not his name. You got the first part right. It's cause plus healthy. Healthy. So you would say that. Cause what? You're so close, Isaac. You're so close. You got it 2/3 of the way. It's just the way part is not right. You got to switch that for a different W word. That's right. And it's the word that's a synonym for healthy. Healthy. Cause what? Cause worth? No, that's not it, James. That's not it. Healthy. What's another synonym for healthy? If you're healthy, you are. Maybe it's something that has, yeah, there you go. But write it all in, HC. I'm just a completionist. We do full name answers. You got to write the first name with the last name. You can't just put in that part. I want to see the whole entire package. Dwayne Coswell is right. Dwayne Coswell is the right answer. HC, wow. We pulling teeth on that one. Pulling teeth on that one. You cheated, no lie. Yeah, I mean, he's not the most memorable player, honestly. He was like a backup player for the Kings, backup center. Yeah, I don't think he ever started. So, I mean, I understand why somebody wouldn't get it, but it's cool to have HC get a classic card. We haven't had somebody get one of those in a while. I'm going to give you 200 for it because that was a little bit like pulling teeth. A little bit of pulling teeth. 500? No, he cheated. If he had gotten that straight up without going to look, maybe I wouldn't have given him 500. I'd maybe give him 3 or 4. Maybe 3 or 4. Let's see. It's Wayne saying, Infamous says he hadn't heard superlative praises for Shed and Mamu. Don't know about that. We have been saying Mamu is a basketball player, not necessarily a center, and Shed is just developed on time. I'm seeing that you just got to that part in the phone call. I mean, that's kind of true. People have been praising Shed and Mamu for sure. But I think that it's very right of Infamous to want to praise them further. And I have no problem with that. That's right. That's right. Had to be done. I appreciate that, HC, for getting me through there. And yeah, go easy on me. All right. All right. Let's wrap it up. Let me do this real quick in the last 5 minutes. Guys, we beat the Cavs last night. It was a statement win. It's a win to tell the rest of the league we're coming. And you should be fucking respecting us because we're going to fuck you up. And my stars of the game were Scottie Barnes. Absolutely insanely good, Scottie. So good. Emmanuel Quickly, Jakob Pertl, Sandro Mamu Kelishvili, and Jamal Shed. Those are my 5 stars of the game for last night. Tonight, the Raptors 905 are playing the Westchester Knicks in New York. And our crew chief will be Gina Catanzariti. The referee will be JP Prim. And the umpire is Joe Prince. I'd like to see duplication of the first 3 games of the season for 905 against Westchester. Let's rout them by 30 once again. Why not? Let's do it, Andrew Jones. So y'all check out that game tonight at 7:30. And I'll be in the YouTube chat if you want to hang out with me and talk during the game and revel in the greatness of the Raptors organization and the winning that we're doing this month, November of 2025. That's right. We winning. And tomorrow, 9:30 a.m., preview for Indiana Pacers, Raptors, Saturday night game, NBA action. The Raptors show goes to Indiana for the last stop on our 5-game road trip. Let's make it a 4-1 road trip and beat Pascal. Say hi to him. Say hi. We're going to beat you. And we're going home after that. All right. That's what I want to see. All right. Had to be done. We're ending up the stream. All right, y'all. Enjoy your day. I'm going to give you a peaceful view of this outside for a couple minutes, and then we'll cut the stream off. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Let's go, Raptors. Stay positive, Raptors fans, because in some ways, if you're not being positive right now, I'm judging you. I'm judging you if you ain't positive right now. So be positive. And look at this beautiful countryside outside, as I leave.